Hi, welcome to Farm Nerds, episode number 7. I'm Thomas Holman.
I'm Joey Lee.
And I'm Brennan.
You can follow me at Mr. Warburg on Twitter.
You can follow me at Joey_FN_Lee.
We still need to change that, by the way.
Underscore you.
And I'm at Yetipocalypse on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, private joke on Instagram, by the way.
You guys have Instagrams?
Yeah.
God, nerds.
What? Cosplay's awesome.
I'll give you that.
Thank you.
Certain cosplay is awesome.
Jessica Negri.
I'm more of a Meg Turner fan.
Shivers down your spine.
That's all I use my Instagram for, too.
It's true,
Yeah.
though.
That and bow hunting. That's about all the use I get out of it. So I guess
Both have nice curves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also check us out
The
at...
limbs, toned, a lot of flex to them.
Yeah. Anyway, also check us out at farmnerds.com, at farmnerds on Twitter. And we're also at the Farm Nerds podcast on iTunes. So you can like, rate, and subscribe there.
Yep.
And let us know what you think of how awesome this content is. Or not, but preferably the former.
Just
not
like.
the latter. Fuck the latter. But
Just
not
ladder?
the latter.
Unless it's right, we wouldn't judge your choice as a human being. We respect you more than that.
We'll see. But yeah, this is number 7, right? We're on 7. Yeah, we're on 7. We're
Yep.
back in the previous undiscovered location that we moved to last week's undiscovered location. Yeah.
We're still discovering locations.
Yeah.
Someone was on to us. We had to...
Yeah.
It's our bug out location.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to make a change. But we're back to where we were. Anyway, it's been a...
That person was dealt with in the required way.
Yes.
And now we're free to live our lives as we choose.
Yes. And a lot's been happening in the last week. Number 1 is everything that went on in the show that's in front of your ears, your faces right now, not your ears. If you're watching the video, if you're listening,
If it's the audio version.
we have the Game of Thrones seasons 1 through 4 Blu-ray and books 1 through 5.
No, 2 through 5.
Because I'm missing book 1 in front of us to dress the set tonight because tonight was premiere night for season 5.
Yeah. Woo!
And it was fucking ballin'.
Oh, fuck,
It's
you
fucking
watched
great.
it?
Yeah.
Yes, I have it DVR'd upstairs.
Okay.
Free HBO weekend.
Tell Allison she's got a cuddle buddy, because...
Okay. Yeah, and anyway, oh fuck. Ooh, that was a good one.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Probably. Anyway, kind of a muted premiere, I think. I'm not going to get delve too much into spoilers, but it was kind
I
of...
fucking will if I want to.
Well, it was kind of... Well, this is going to come out like tomorrow, like the day after it airs.
Fuck them.
Like, I'd say at least Saturday
I will
night.
murder you.
I'd say at least Saturday. And he hasn't seen it. Anyway,
Jon Snow stabbed someone.
very, like, even. Like, it just kind of... You get, like, 5-ish minutes with each of the main characters outside of Arya, because she
Right.
never gets screen time, even though she's the best fucking character on the show. Bar none. She's the best character.
But the trailer for the next episode?
Yeah, I know, but still, like...
Black and white.
Still. And where the fuck is the king's, like, blacksmith son? Seriously?
He's still rowing.
2.5 fucking seasons.
That motherfucker
Haven't
is
seen him.
rowing.
He's still rowing his goddamn boat.
He's gonna come back super jacked.
Yeah.
He's gonna look like fucking Popeye.
Except he's going to be withered away because he's on the ocean with no food in the middle of a fucking...
He's gonna learn to fish.
Hey, Life of Pi, man.
Yeah.
He's on that boat with the tiger.
Trippy movie.
But he doesn't have a tiger. He has an oar.
He'll find a tiger.
No, he is the tiger. That's what you
Okay.
don't get about it.
All right.
Did you not
All right.
understand
Yeah.
Life of Pi? It was a metaphor.
Yeah.
No, I never saw that. Or what?
Oh, it's
really?
great.
I didn't
That
know.
was the weirdest movie.
Okay, back to the topic. We
Anyway,
don't talk
really,
about
really good
movies that
season.
are a year and a half
Good season
old.
premiere. I'm very excited for
Oh,
number
yeah.
2. But that gets me to my first point. Fuck HBO.
Why?
You're the production company that basically has the world by the balls because of Game of Thrones. You decided to tie yourselves down to one media outlet in Apple TV for your HBO Now. You have to have an Apple device to activate your subscription to HBO Now. Why, as a production company, and that is as big as HBO, they tie themselves to one platform?
Money.
I don't get it. They had to have been paid an ungodly sum, and they still have yet to
Exactly.
disclose how much HBO is getting paid for
I don't
this.
think they will.
I don't think they will
Why?
either, but it's like
a fuck ton of
genius on Apple's part.
Oh yeah.
But HBO is like, there's way more Android users. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah.
And it pisses me off because I don't have an
It's-
Apple device.
It's Apple reaffirming that they're the cool kid brand.
Yeah, which I think is going to.
They paid for that right, but that's what they
I think
did.
it's.
They're paying for
I
it.
think we're on
Yeah.
the verge of them like going into a '90s spiral again because
Apple?
the Apple Watch is going to fall hard.
Yeah,
It's going to be there. It's going to be
I
this.
saw they-
It's going to be this century's or this decade's Newton. I think.
I saw they sold out all their gold Apple Watches in China.
In China though.
Yeah.
It's kind of a big Apple thing.
Well, China's a weird market. Like everybody's starting to market towards them now.
Everyone's just starting to make money there.
Yeah.
So it's like we were in the 1910s with Rockefeller and J.P. Morgan and Vanderbilt and all those guys. That's what they have going on there right now. They have a bunch of people who don't know what to do with their money.
Yeah.
Anyway, get back to the main point. What was I going to say?
Because I was going to pay the $15 a month to get HBO Now, but I can't.
Get
I
an
don't have an Apple
emulator on
device.
your computer of an Apple product.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure highly illegal.
Yeah, I know, right? At that point, I'm just going to watch the TV show.
I'm just saying.
What I am thinking though, legitimately though, during Game of Thrones season, move the podcast to your basement.
110% agree.
Then a podcast and Joey's, girl before. Once we're done, we go watch the. Can your parents DVR?
Yeah, we have it now in our basement too. So
Yes.
we can watch this and do a podcast at the same time.
Yes, a live
Reaction.
spoiler cast. This would be awesome. It'd be great. But yeah, I think we should do that, and then we grill and make it an awesome night. I think it'd be a lot of fun. Plus, it'd be closer to you guys.
And
That's what
since the Game of Thrones season started, I will every Sunday be home.
Exactly. And I'd like to be there and watching it, since I don't want to pay for it.
Because I'm not a mooch or anything. It's just
Because
that
fuck Mediacom.
I don't want HBO or
Fuck
cable.
them. Yeah, screw Mediacom. At least on the cable side. Their internet's honestly pretty solid. But,
It's okay. Sometimes they I don't
dude,
know.
into the mic.
Sometimes
Not the side of the microphone.
I'm just used to my shit. It's like it's pickups like all
I know.
around here.
I know.
But
We don't all have amazing microphones.
Just saying, it had gold on it. But sometimes they have some weird times where they do drop.
Yeah, well, that happens to every small town.
I know, but
That happens to everybody.
it's a complete disconnection.
Well, yeah, at 2 a.m., their main user base is not using it. So that's when they do server maintenance, which is what everybody does.
Second shift life, man.
I know.
Struggle.
The struggle bus is real. But anybody else got anything outside of me being pissed at HBO?
I don't know. I don't think it's a reason to be mad at HBO. They did what they made money at.
I know, but it's more like, why would you cut yourself off from such a massive install base that you want to watch as your show when it premieres tonight, and they can't do it? I don't get that from a business standpoint, unless they got paid an obscene amount of money.
The only reason to do that as a business ass point is if they got paid.
Yeah,
you get paid
and that's
obscenely amount
I'd
of
like
money.
to know what that figure was for HBO to do that.
It's got to have a lot of zeros.
I'd hope so. But the another streaming thing, have you watched Daredevil yet?
no.
Oh, it's beautiful.
It's all 10 episodes are out. Me and Joy have watched the first 3. Fucking phenomenal.
Oh, did you guys? You guys can talk about that, but then that link that I sent you in text, both of you,
Which one?
we should talk about that too. Danger 5.
I haven't
watched that yet.
Yeah.
I'll have to tell you guys a little bit about it. But go ahead with your thing first, and then we'll get back to
So
mine.
Daredevil is Marvel's first TV show that's through Netflix. They have 4 coming. Or 3 now that Daredevil's out.
Right.
First season all came out at once, and in the very Netflix new internet kind of way, all at once. And it's really made for back-to-back-to-back watching. Like, there's literally no time between episodes. It is made for binging. We watched the first 3 last night. The way episode 3 ends, oh my god. I've never seen a dude take him, like, that was...
The fight scenes were amazing.
Yeah, there's like
Just
the raid
good
level.
choreography.
The raid level good
yeah.
fight scene in episode number 2. It's just a static hallway, static shot for like 5 minutes. Flip perspective, 5 more minutes. Just going at it.
That's fucking awesome.
It is amazing.
Yeah,
One of the coolest looking TV shows. And one of my guys who I know has not been a huge fan of 4K and I saw some tweets going up like, if you have a 4K, this is why it matters. Because this content was shot for 4K on 4K.
Right.
And as popular as Marvel is, if their next 3 TV shows are all the same, I think it's going to really change a lot of TV because it's really going to push that next side of the hardware too. But like, man, it looks so good. Even though my shitty 32-inch in there looks amazing. I was very, very excited. I have tomorrow off, so I get to finish.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, and then I don't work until 4 p.m. on Tuesday, so we can actually record some shit.
Okay. That's
Yeah.
work.
But so Danger 5.
Yeah.
Danger 5. It's an Australian TV show, and it's
You already have me sold.
it gets so much better, Joey. So much better. So it's these like team of like 4 guys and 2 chicks during World War II, and like, where do I lead into how ridiculous it is? Okay, so it's World War II, and the objective of every episode is that they kill Hitler, right?
Okay.
So he's like the recurring bad guy in every show. So they're constantly smoking cigarettes, and like, I'm trying to lead in like from the least ridiculous to the most ridiculous because killing Hitler makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
So then the other thing they do that makes a lot of sense is there's a base that brainwashes like their own agents. So then they have to tell them like how they're in love with them and all this to get them back to like let them know who they were. Right. Okay. In like the last episode of season 1, I can't remember the exact. No, it was the second episode, season 1, and it's this guy has programmed these dinosaurs in the worst dinosaur costumes you've ever seen in your life, and they take it very serious, like totally deadpan the entire time, and they have to fight like these dinosaurs in this ring, and then one of the guys dies, and every time a character dies in the episode, they give out their favorite drink recipe. 1 part absinthe, 2 parts vodka.
I hope it's set to like really sad music. That's what I'm imagining.
Well, it's all done in the tone of famous last words. Like, tell her that I loved her. 1 part vermouth. The perfect Bloody Mary.
Nice. I like it. I'm gonna have to watch this now.
Oh, it is so great. I've been spreading them out. Because, like, I saw the first one, I was like, this is too good to use them all up at one time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if you like serious shows and, like,
This almost sounds
can't
like,
appreciate people being, like, seriously, like, not serious, you will absolutely hate it. But if that's your thing, it is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Sounds a lot like Epic Mealtime meets, like, crazier shit. Like, they're...
Oh, it's so far out there.
Yeah.
So far out there.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm going to have to check
That's
this
just too
out.
great.
Yes.
And then, like, they'll be having a serious conversation, and then their boss, because they work for the Allies, you know.
Yeah.
So it's a guy with an eagle head on. Like a full-size eagle head. Like,
Might as well have been a
like
horse
with
mask.
the feathers and the beak and everything. And the beak bounces up and down when he talks. Like,
I hope at the end of this series it's just 2 guys in a trench just tripping on LSD. That would be amazing.
it's so great. Yeah, if you're like a fan of Adult Swim, it would be right up your
okay.
alley.
Sounds like
you
that
know,
kind of
it's
show.
that
Yeah.
kind of humor.
Greatly
you
sold
know?
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that.
Yeah, I discovered it on
Speaking
Reddit
of
somewhere
watch,
randomly.
that.
Yeah, my Fitbit.
Ah.
What?
Yes. I really wish we had a person behind the camera and be like, zoom in, enhance,
No, we get too many crowd shots.
enhance.
Yeah, I got the. I wrote about it on my blog.
Yes, that's why I'm bringing it
Yeah,
up.
I got the-
bspearhead.com.
The BeSpearhead.com. Thank you for the plug. I
I'm sorry, I love the mimic.
I'm wearing
That's why we love you. Yeah, I got it because I was having trouble reaching my step goals, and like the iPhone 5 does a little bit of that, but it does it really poorly. So I went out and I went and got the top range model, which I don't know.
Which one did you get, the HR or the Charge?
Surge.
The Surge. Ah, yeah.
So it's the ultimate
That's a
top
good
of the
one.
line one.
Yeah.
That Fitbit offers.
Yeah.
But what I liked most about it was I can see my heart rate all the time. So, like, I can kind of get more in well, the joke I made on the blog was that when Milo Kunis comes on screen,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can be
like,
like, hey.
I know how much that affects
Yeah.
my heartbeat.
Yeah, that's why I was just like,
It's around 7 to 8 from what I've discovered. And anyway, but it just lets me keep track of things in a lot better way. So like my step goal is it's at 3 to 4 times what the average American walks in a day. It's 15,000 steps.
yeah.
And this does a lot better job of keeping track of that because it's on your phone. You set it someplace. That and what I like about it most is it looks like a watch.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Those other ones, they look like a Livestrong band.
Yeah,
Granted, you can get away with one of those for about half the cost.
totally. And they do, like, it's a really simple
Do-do.
mechanic because all it is it's a it's like a free weight thing that when you move your hand, it goes forward. When your hand goes back, it goes forward. Move your hand forward, it goes back, and it trips the sensor that pings to your phone.
Right.
Or if on the smaller ones. On the bigger ones, it's got its own self-contained display. It can still ping to your phone for tracking over time because there's no storage on those.
Right.
But they're really cool. And between the
There
surge,
is storage on these, but it has to be backed up.
exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It's not
Right.
like
It's not going to be able to keep a 3-month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
the
like
fuck not?
I've been having to learn a lot more at our Best Buy about that because I like to know more about what I'm selling, and that's one of the areas I'm learning a lot more about lately. And the Garmin ones and that one are like, if I was going to spend money on a smartwatch, that'd be what I've got for a fitness watch at least.
The Fitbit had the better app.
Yeah, they do. It's way better.
Yeah.
And I saw some reviews on YouTube that said it wasn't great, and then I watched a brand new reviews of it, and it covers. So throughout the day, it'll keep me in the zone for how much food I should have eaten for that time of day.
Yeah.
It'll say you're under zone, you're over zone, so then you have to go and work off some calories, and then you'll get back to in the zone. So it just depends what you do that day. So some days, that's what I didn't like about like MyFitnessPal and stuff, because it said you have to eat 1,800 calories a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I shoot for about 1,000 calorie deficit, somewhere in there.
Okay.
It's supposed to equal out to like 2 pounds a week, and but it wasn't working with MyFitnessPal because the workouts that I would do were not reflected. At all.
Yeah.
So this will automatically say, "Oh, normally you burn 2,280 calories a day." That's if I stay in bed all day. That's what I burn.
Okay.
That's my basal metabolic rate. But then I go and put in 5 miles on the elliptical. All of a sudden, I just bought myself another 800 calories that need to go into my food.
Yeah.
This tells me that. And that also prevents me from overeating that way, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, like if you go, I can go on a 2,000 calorie diet a day. That's not a big deal. But that next day, I am just craving food.
Yeah, I found that because I'm doing that right now with calorie counting and everything. And at 2,000 calories a day, man, that's fucking... She's tough.
Well, it's really tough to lose weight that way, too.
I have to have 3 a day.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like I've been on a 4,000 calorie diet before. Like my doctor was like,
Jealous.
Yeah. So in the morning, just eat the fattiest food you can.
Yeah.
And like the thickest protein shake ever.
Yeah.
There's your breakfast.
Yeah.
And there's your lunch. And there's your supper.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you've always been on a little bit different plan.
Yeah.
than we've been
Just
on,
a bit,
too.
which hopefully can change. But as far as those go, I've also been looking at the Garmin ones. Because like
Garmin does good stuff. Jawbone does.
Yeah, they've got a decent one. The Nike one sucked so bad. I don't know what it is now. A couple years ago, my brother had it when he was running.
The fuel bands, is that what they're
And it
called?
used to be the Fit Plus. I don't know what it is now.
It'd go to your shoe. That kind of fun
Yeah, you
stuff.
needed to have something in the shoe, and it was horrid. Like so many connectivity problems. Didn't log nothing. It was bad. Part of that was probably because we had a shitty computer at home too, and no smartphones. This was pre-smartphone, really, when he had it.
I'm not going to comment on that because I don't know how it works, but I have that app that you can't get rid of on your iPhone.
Yeah.
For the Nike Fuel that's supposed to be able to connect to my.
Yeah.
I have the Vomero 7s, which have the Apple sensor in them,
Yeah.
but I could never get them to connect.
Yeah. Nike's really kind of gotten out of that game because their stuff didn't work. Adidas's does. It's very simple, very minimalistic, but it works.
Yep.
But I really want to I'm looking at the Garmin one because like when I get out of surgery and get back in shape, what I want to do is like actually start running and maybe training for like a half marathon next spring, something like that. And I want to be able to.
Too long. Well, you're going to be in a. Okay, that's.
I'm going to be like away. Like I'm going to be training with my brother.
I read something this week that's kind of interesting, but you go ahead and finish your.
Maybe probably start with 5Ks or anything, but like my goal is half marathon. 2016, I want a half marathon.
I have a program for you.
Yeah.
And I'm testing it right now. We'll see if it works or not.
Yeah.
But
And I want the Garmin ones because it actually piggybacks off their GPS systems to more accurately say how far you have gone. More than any. Like these guys, they're really accurate like in shorter distances. The longer you go.
No, this one has GPS on it.
Oh, yeah. Like the other, like the regular Fitbits, the Jawbone, the ones that don't have those.
That's all going by what it thinks your average steps are.
Exactly. Which
this
can be.
actually has the GPS on it.
Yeah, which is much more accurate.
But you pay more money for it.
I know. But if I'm going to be training and I want it to be accurate, then yeah, I want to pay for that.
Yep. Really, it's more than what I needed, but I wanted to watch.
Yeah.
I don't, you know,
And I
because I
got
was in the heart rate. I think it's what is it? The charge.
There's the Charge HR, and the Surge.
And the Charge HR has a clock on it too.
Yeah.
But it was like a $30 difference.
Yeah.
So I just, and it might have been a little bit more than that, but I just decided why not get the extra functionality of it being able to record your workouts at the same time. You get the GPS with it. If you're spending that much money, I figured, you know.
You might as well go all the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure by not.
Mm-hmm. And it makes it a game too.
Oh yeah,
Because that way I can see how many steps I have left for a day, and I don't have to look at my phone to find out how many I have left. So I can constantly compete against myself that way too. It makes it more gamified. You know what I mean?
Gives yourself a challenge.
Like you're looking up in the top right corner of the screen and you're seeing how Mario's doing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's kind of how I look at it. But
Yeah.
it makes it more fun that way, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know Razer actually is coming out with a band that's similar to that, and it's for gaming. So,
really?
what is it? You can tell how many calories you need to eat if you haven't been that active and all that fun stuff.
Were you there when
awesome.
we saw that?
It's actually pretty
the
sweet.
Minecraft the wrist things.
No.
Oh, at our Best Buy we have the Minecraft watch. It's basically a USB stick that you install Minecraft onto, and you wear it around your thing. And it's got a Minecraft themed display for the clock itself.
Right.
And then so you can have Minecraft installed and take it to any computer.
Oh.
Yeah, which I don't know why they bother doing that. Because
Well,
once you have the license, it's tied to your email. You can download it on any computer.
Right, but if I had... Does it carry the game around on it?
Yeah, just the game.
So I don't have to install the game on the computer.
True, but it's going to run slower. Because it's...
But if I had a kid, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, it's also really
Oh,
expensive. I can't remember what the price is, but it's like, just for that, I don't know if I'd pay like over $100.
Oh, it's that much?
It's expensive.
Yeah.
Oh, that's like the Razer thing. I don't know how much it's going to cost or anything, but I'm trying to get into the beta thing about it because it'll notify you. Oh God, other gamers in the room that have it, and stuff like that.
It's like Street Pass meets fitness.
Yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of the reasons I want to get a 3DS, is those kind of things.
No.
Can I say how that shit's been overused?
What?
What?
Some of you might have noticed in my last episode, I was smoking that blue cigarette, that e-cigarette.
Yeah.
That has a social media app on it.
Get the fuck out of Dodge.
It's supposed to look like a cigarette carton, not a carton, but a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
So you can charge your other thing on the go, your other power stick. It'll beep if there's someone else who has that on them.
It'll vibrate
in the same bar.
Yeah.
Wow.
The most useless thing in history.
Yeah.
Hey, you smoke e-cigarettes too? We're going to be friends forever. No. That's never going to happen. It's the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think
don't
gaming's
get
a different aspect, though.
I already think e-cigarettes are a little lame. And
Probably
then they
are.
just throw in that desperation, and their website's fucking hilarious.
that. Yeah.
Welcome to the blue lifestyle.
Yeah.
We're going to change your life. You're going to look just like these people, smoking blue cigarettes.
You know.
Oh, yeah.
Until it starts raining, then you're fucked.
Bow, chicka, bow. Yeah, it's just strange.
I kind of need you to redo that when we're doing a pan over of the website. That'd be great. That would be great.
You could, yeah, I can do that.
All right. So, what do you guys got for topics? Because I have a few questions, but I've been talking plenty. So, what do we got?
I guess,
Don't everybody talk.
what
at once.
sport would you guys ever like to go pro in?
Sport?
Yeah.
Formula One.
Why? Formula One.
Dude, those cars are awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome.
My day-to-day life, the biggest struggle I have is with boredom. Because if I get bored, I get self-destructive that fast. So, I need something that turns the volume up as much as possible.
Yeah, I guess
And I
Formula One
imagine
racing
that
would
would
do
do it.
that. Yeah.
I
was not expecting that extreme right away. It's like,
Yeah.
I think
mother of
that-
God.
That's just how I'm wired, though.
Okay.
My personality type is ENTJ all day.
Yeah.
It's just who I am.
I'm INTJ.
You're INTJ?
That's what I get every single time. Sometimes I get INTP. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But usually it's J.
Yep.
Yeah. And because there was a thing going on, shout out to Lucas.
I could see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, he made a journal on Rooster Teeth about
No clue
It's
what's
a
happened
Myers-Briggs personality
yes,
test.
Myers-Briggs.
Oh,
And I've taken
I
it
know
a
it is.
good,
Yep.
like the actual like written ones that you do and like have them like scanned in and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That one like 6 times I think because of my leadership courses I took at Wartburg and then the education courses
Gotcha.
because they kind of want you to understand your own personality so you can teach more effectively.
Well, and that way you learn what your skills are.
Exactly.
So you can play off of your skills. We talked about that. Was that 2 weeks ago?
Yeah,
Something like
and
that?
it's like it's part of the entry level stuff at Wartburg for a lot of different ed and psychology courses. And yeah, I had to take it a bunch of times. And the online ones, I still get the same thing.
Yep.
Even though they're way shorter.
The online ones are actually pretty good.
Yeah, they're slimmed down, but they're still usually pretty accurate.
Yep.
And yeah, I always get INTJ, but I'm very like on the ones that break down the percentages. It's like 55I, 45E. I'm like right down the middle.
Really?
Yeah. Like if I change my answer on 2 questions, I'm an E. So it's like, yeah. Like when I was talking with, like we went over this, a couple people at work, they're like, yeah, you're like that guy who you're quiet, but you just really know how to fucking sell shit. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm that guy who can do both.
Well, that's why you're intuitive thinking and judgmental at the same time.
Exactly. Like you can do both.
Yep.
But the P, I never get how I get that, but whatever.
What's the P? I don't
it's
even
judgment is J, and then P is perceptive, or it's like their observational one, like you observe without judgment. Where it's like, I'm a hardcore, I'll judge. You want to be your dick?
Yeah,
you're a fucking dick.
That doesn't sound like you at all.
No. I can sometimes get it, because like, if I'm wanting to be that cold, detached person, I totally can.
Yeah.
Not a problem. I don't have to care. When I do care, I'm probably going to be pissed at people.
Yeah.
Like, God, the last 2 days at work, oh my God. Like, this one guy basically called my coworker just a moron because he's like trying to tell him how a receiver works. I'm like, sir, you're running an Xbox One on the component to a 4K. Really stupid. These are the 2 things you need, or you can leave and go Google the model number yourself because you didn't even buy it through us and figure out how to do it on your own.
Yeah.
And then I walked away.
Yeah, that's ENTJ all day.
Yeah. But that's just like,
All day.
but I'm not normally going to do that. But when I'm in
Right.
my sales role of like, I'm the guy who has to be that guy, then I'm that way.
Yep.
But yeah.
Anyway, where were we before we got to that? Oh, we were talking about what we would do if we could have any.
Yes. Yeah.
Pro sports
You're
stuff.
Formula One, which is a great thing. I'm assuming you're going to say League of Legends.
Me? No. I was thinking sport, athletic.
Okay, so you're sticking with
Athletes.
athletics.
Yes.
Okay. So it's.
First of all, I wanted to be a video game tester right before that.
I wouldn't want to be a video game tester.
I wanted to be that guy.
You don't get to have any data tied to an account. You don't get to have achievements. You don't get to have people know what you do. You can't show people anything because you're all in beta under NDAs. You can't ever talk about anything.
Guess who cares?
I would. I wouldn't want to play unfinished games
I would.
over and over and
you?
over again until it breaks my mind. I wouldn't
You're
want
not
that.
a tester. I would love to do that.
I would not want that. I would.
I
Not be able
want to
do-
break the game.
I don't.
If I can find a way, like,
I want to have fun playing games.
I want to break the fuck out of it, though.
All right, you and Webwave would get along so much.
I just
think
don't-
you already do, but yeah.
Yeah, we do. It already is. But it's like,
Anyway,
just-
my
oh.
sport, I don't know. It would depend on if I'm healthy or not. 'Cause
well,
there's
you're
two
in healthy.
different-
This is
whatever you
want
want to
to
do. It's-
I would
You could be in a wheelchair
probably
for
say basketball. Just because I know if I had been actually healthy, I would have actually been better at it. Whereas baseball, I can't hit for shit. I cannot touch a baseball. Great, pretty good at fielding. Can't hit shit. But basketball is pretty solid at. When I'm healthy, I'm like way better.
See, I just think in terms of lifestyle.
Yeah.
I don't think
This
about
is-
like
yeah,
what
my
my own
choice is the
personal
same way.
requirements
Yeah.
are.
No.
I just think what kind of lifestyle would I like to live? Formula One. Yeah, that's what it do for me. Anyway,
I'd just like to play basketball for
I
80,
think about
80
it
games a
different
year.
ways. Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Baseball.
Baseball's just too long. Way too long. And for those of you listening, I am eating an oatmeal chocolate chip cookie, and it's amazing. Just so you know.
Highlight of professionalism. Go for it, Joey.
Mine is, I would love to be a baseball closer. Get
Okay,
paid
that-
that big figure. You're going to play minimum amount of games, sit and watch baseball all day.
Get
I'm
to travel
sold.
for free.
I'm fucking sold.
Got to work every day though.
I fucking will.
Actually, that might be a little bit better because
Yeah.
you could say entertained every day.
You got to be
Yeah.
ready to work every day, not necessarily work every day.
right.
Just
bring
gotta
a
be ready.
3DS
Like,
everywhere
it's
I
ninth
go.
inning. We're up six. fuck it, crack open a beer.
Yeah,
Done.
point proven.
There you
I just. And also, this doesn't help that I just
For the
love baseball.
But you'd want to do it for the Rockies or for the Cardinals
Cardinals.
because they have both of them have breweries inside of their stadiums.
Yes.
Oh, actually,
I wouldn't
know
say
that. I'm
Colorado.
actually a Cardinals
Yeah.
fan. That's why I was like,
Because it's Busch Stadium and Coors Light.
Yeah,
Coors
literally,
Stadium. Coors Field. Not
The
Coors
Budweiser
Stadium.
like old factory is like right across the street from Busch Stadium.
Yeah, 100% sold behind the Cardinals. Then yes, because they'd
I'd
just
go
be
Cardinals,
perfect.
too. Even if it was any,
I wouldn't
any
pitch in
team, I'd go
Colorado's.
Cardinals.
I wouldn't pitch in Colorado's diamond to save my life. It's home
Where's
run
that?
hitters, man. It's way too easy to get a hit out there.
It explains Todd Helton.
I throw so weird though.
Yeah,
It's
I'm
just
talking, but
fucking-
there's like he's next level closer, like one of the top, maybe the top of all time.
Todd Helton was a first baseman.
I'm talking, no, the guy Trevor Hoffman. Trevor Hoffman.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that's who
Don't
my
know
mind. As soon as you said that, I'm like Trevor Hoffman.
It was
That's
the
who I
same era.
thinking. Yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't know why, because he has more saves than Mariano Rivera, but everyone thinks of Mariano Rivera first.
Because he was in the big spots.
Well, yeah, he's in. Yeah, he was New York, and then who else would be?
Oh, my secondary profession, and well, it was kind of my first porn, definitely.
Oh, a professional.
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely.
Now, as an actor or director or like or what?
Actor, obviously.
Actor. Now you're gonna do a set scene, or are you gonna be the guy that goes out there and like, oh god, they have a bunch of like.
He's the sex stunt man.
The sex stunt man, the filler. No, the penis.
That's
dipper
also my nickname.
bit. But there's a bunch of guys that do
Brett
it solo,
Filler. That's my name.
and they do.
It's either that or it's Balls McLongcock. I haven't decided. It's one of those two.
That was really stupid.
That's fucking awesome. I guess my second one would have to be professional paintball. They don't get paid shit.
I
But
was actually
dude,
thinking
that
about
was gonna be
that
so
the
much
other day.
fucking fun though. Tell me I gotta play paintball in my life. It's fucking sold.
I don't think they make enough money.
They don't.
To support themselves playing it,
Right.
like
Probably
it's
not.
it's an expensive sport.
Oh god, yeah.
But they get everything for free.
yeah.
Yeah, professionally anyway.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta get the sponsors and the team, but yeah, but still, it's oh man, it'd be
But
so
I
much
wouldn't
fun.
wanna
I
play
was thinking
speedball.
about that the other day because I was
I
thinking
want-
about things like that. There'd be the entry cost would be small enough that what I'm saying is there aren't enough people playing it that I'm not competing against DeMarco Murray to be able to do it.
Yeah.
That's true.
So I came up with handball would be one of them,
Yeah.
bull riding, even though I'm probably a little old to get into that now,
Yeah.
and paintball was number 3 that I thought of.
Oh, paintball I think is
Yeah.
a pretty solid top.
And handball, I don't know about that one.
Han-
That's like big in Europe. I don't think you could really. There are guys who do it professionally in the United States, but not really.
Not a ton. It's a lot of
Yeah.
the East Coast cities.
Yeah.
I don't know. Handballs.
Achievement Hunter just did a handball versus. It was fantastic. But Ray left. Yeah, I told you
Yeah.
Ray left, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the Achievement Hunters left Achievement Hunters. He got a full-time Twitch stream. He had he probably gonna hit 50,000 followers before he streams for the first time on his account
How?
because he's that popular.
Oh, really?
Just
Like,
fandom.
Just
OP.
search Brown Man as one word on Google, and it's just going to be a
Not
litany
images,
of Ray
but-
Navarez Jr. like gifs, images, links, everything to his accounts. The dude's like
Oh,
super
he
famous
just
on the internet.
Puts out a bunch of good content.
Yeah,
huh?
he's
Oh, yeah.
hilarious. Yeah,
Very
very my type of humor. Like, yeah, it's awesome. He's hilarious.
Gotcha.
Cool dude. And yeah, I'm hoping like I need to follow his account. I don't even know if I did. I probably should. Just because I want to catch his streams because he's pretty awesome. But it sucks he's leaving Achievement Hunter. But
Yeah.
'cause those guys are awesome.
Joey just saw his own shadow. That's what scared him.
Exactly.
Yes, it's like, oh god, it's still attached. With all this light, I
Six
found
more
a
weeks of
shadow.
spring.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, speaking of that, like, were you out on the road when we got that like random 6 inches of snow the other night?
No, I wasn't on the road. No.
Okay, yeah, I had to drive from Mason City to here right as it started here. So by the time I got about halfway, it was, bam, 3 inches caked onto the road. I have to go
Yeah.
10 miles an hour. Fuck, that sucked.
Solid
Then the
choice.
next morning, 3 cars in the ditch on the way to Mason. It's
Yep.
like, should not have taken the back
That's the way to
roads. I'm an idiot. I got stuck at the intersection out there by the dealer coming into town. I got stuck. I had to back up.
You silly
then-
bitch.
And then
How'd you get stuck in 3 inches of snow?
you've seen my car.
It is only like 2 inches
No,
high.
it was suctioned. Like when I stopped, it was still wet, so it like sucked the tire got stuck to the pavement. It couldn't move. Like my tire, they wouldn't even spin. I could just hear the engine rev, but I wasn't hearing the rubber go. Like nothing was spinning. It was bad.
Did you get it stuck up on the chassis? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
There wasn't that much snow. It couldn't have.
No, it was just so wet and thick that my car couldn't move.
That's actually pretty
What'd you
impressive.
do?
The guy behind me had to kind of nudge it. He just I was like,
How long were you there?
I was on that intersection about 5 minutes,
No, how long were you there that you got stuck there?
20 seconds. I had to wait for a line of about 7 cars to pass because they were all going
Right.
15 miles an hour in a caravan. By the time they pass, I can't move. I'm stuck.
That's the most absurd thing.
Because it's
I've
an
ever-
up incline
Yeah.
at that intersection, and that's where I got stuck.
But your tires weren't moving at all.
That's why I didn't feel him go. And so my guy had to I don't know what happened.
You have.
Just wave him in.
That's fascinating.
I don't know what happened, but he had
Because
to
it wasn't cold enough that you could have
Yeah.
frozen
No,
there.
it was not that cold, but it was heavy enough to stick, but still wet. It was a weird night. It was an April blizzard in Iowa. That kind of sums it up. It was just a shitty night for weather all around.
He really meant the middle of nowhere.
I think they know exactly where we are.
No, they don't.
Nope. No.
At least the state. I'm pretty sure they know the state.
not a thing.
Might be given away by the Iowa Hawkeyes break. Maybe.
It's
What?
not a thing
You just
to
like.
you.
You just like
I'll
that
put a
fucking-
black bar over that from here on out. Here on out for the podcast, it's got a black bar.
It should say "Go favorite college team."
It will. I'll make it say that in really fine print. All right.
We support all teams.
Moving on.
There's actually one guy at work that I know he actually loves every NFL team. He has NFL.
Wait, he loves football.
Yeah, he just loves it. I was like, Jesus Christ. He has every NFL. Yeah, every team memorabilia. Just
Really?
different wears different shirts, different pants, and everything. Like, I remember his favorite team was all of them. Wow,
Just a fan of the game, man.
just loves it, man. Yeah.
Well, that's like me after I turned. How old would I have been? 1998. NFC divisional playoff game.
Don't even.
Gary Anderson.
Fuck you,
wide
dude.
right.
Fuck you.
That was the first day I saw my mother cry.
Your microphone is muted. We're not talking about this.
Did you really?
Yes. Yes.
fucking murder you.
Use my mic.
All right, you're back in.
That was the first day I saw my mother cry, and after that, I've just been a fan of the NFL.
Yeah. I
And,
broke a TV
now
that day.
I'm a fan of whoever's on my fantasy team.
Yeah, that's kind of what everybody is, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a sad day.
Fucking mute me, you fucking dick. I'll fucking motherfucker.
Hey, you bring up Gary Anderson, you getting muted. I'm sorry. That goes without saying. You bring up his name, and that kick that must not be
It
named.
was integral to the part of the story.
I know, but still, you don't bring up his name.
It was the first
All
day
you
my
gotta-
mother.
all you gotta
I
do
saw
is-
my mother cry.
All you gotta do is
to
say
you.
That was like saying Macbeth at a theater.
All you gotta do is say
You just don't do that.
1998 against the Falcons wide right. Don't even mention the team name. Don't mention the kicker's name.
It's the same thing.
You don't bring it up.
Out of
It's the same
contents, I have
thing.
no fucking
It's-
clue what's going
it's-
on.
You aren't a Vikings fan, so
No.
you're a Jets fan, which is worse.
I don't know.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
McNutt. I'm a fan because of a kicker, man. And then Sean Green, and
They did have a
Yeah.
bunch of
we did a bunch of studs, and then
favorite
we
college team guys.
and then
for a
we
while.
just had a bunch of. We just went and picked up a bunch of quarterbacks one day, and I was like, "Well, this is gonna be a thing
Rex
for a while."
Ryan is a doofus.
Yeah.
Fun guy to watch, though.
He's a fun guy to watch.
Oh, yeah. And apparently a
Gregarious.
guy people love to play for. They
Yeah.
were pissed when he got fired.
Yep.
I was like, all
I
right.
wouldn't have been.
You know, dude, their whole team was like, he's our guy. What the fuck, people?
He's one of those coaches, though, I had in college. He'll curse at you. He'll call you a... And I never got sworn at, but you could...
They
just-
wanted
You got that
he
gist.
let you know you weren't doing good enough. So he was that guy you would run through a brick wall for, and I
Yeah.
picked that up a lot in that Hard Knocks
Yeah.
series they did with the Jets, that he was that kind of guy. You know, a guy you just wanted to play all out
Yeah.
for. He just didn't have the talent there. I think they have a GM problem, I think is what
They have an
fucked him more
just a
than-
true, just top to bottom organizational
Yeah.
chaos. Ever since Parcells was there, right? No, he was Miami.
No,
he was Miami.
They had a decent team at the Jets for a while, though.
Oh
we
yeah,
had
like
an
when he
amazing
like
team.
in 2007, 2008, 2009. Mark Sanchez's rookie 2 years, first
He
2
did
years,
amazing,
and then
all of a sudden he just stopped caring.
yeah, well that franchise took a shit. The defense was never the same after Revis left, and it just
They never had a leader on the other side of the ball.
no. And he's back
Problem
now.
was.
Yeah, that's a big plus for us.
He's
Yeah,
also
we're
he's
going
also like
back to the
32 now.
Jets.
So
Hey, we need
He
a
did-
leader though.
He just won a Super Bowl, man.
yeah.
He was
Yeah.
just the anchor of the Patriots'
biggie.
defense, you know?
Well, they had a more competent defensive backfield I think Revis has ever had in his career. Like safeties to opposite corner. They had a way better defensive backfield.
With the Patriots.
Yeah, with the Patriots.
Right.
Their safeties they're not quite Seahawks good, but they're, I think, more consistent.
You know what's really funny about that? I heard this a few months ago. Everyone was throwing a fit when they thought the Patriots were deflating balls.
Yeah.
Which I think, okay.
It's hilarious.
Oh,
This leads into another argument. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
First of all, I love the idea of the fact if the Patriots did deflate those balls on purpose. I love that idea. I hope they did that. You know why? Okay. This is the play they run on 1st and 10. We can beat that play. We can shut this wide receiver down. We can shut their tight end down. This is how we're going to do all of it. This is how we shut their other tight end down. This is how we beat the blitz on 3rd down. This is how we do that. God, we got these guys fucking nailed. What else can we do to win this game?
Yeah, that mentality.
We deflate the fucking footballs. You know what I mean? It's just
Yeah.
it's that mentality of we leave nothing to chance.
Yeah.
You know, we ensure the win. We take it any means necessary.
Did you see their play against the Ravens that they ran that got, like, Harbaugh almost got kicked out of the game for bitching about? Ruled illegal.
What happened?
Yeah.
It was
they
that formation.
just changed the rule.
They just changed the rule now that, and going forward, it will be illegal because of, like, how it did change the game.
Yeah.
And speaking of, like, new rules and, like, refs kind of thing, you guys watched the national championship game. Did you?
No.
Did you? Okay. This kind of gets to the point of, like, does the coach cross the line? As a guy who's done coaching and stuff. So during halftime, Krzyzewski goes over to the refs.
Duke's coach, right?
And complains about how they're calling the game. Before going to the locker room. But there's no time on the clock, nothing. And then after halftime, 180 in terms of how the game is called. Like, within 10 minutes, Wisconsin's in the double bonus, which has never happened in the entire season. And they're all upperclassmen. That doesn't happen without a change in how the refs called the game. Is that okay for Coach K? Because he's Coach K. Coach K comes to talk to you as a ref. No way that doesn't affect you. Because he's Coach K. Like, he basically is basketball at this point. In terms of the public consciousness and the power that you know that guy has, just by who he is, he tells you you're calling the game wrong. And they missed, like, 3 calls back to back to back to back that really did change the way the game was called. Like, it just set wrong with me that's not, like, and nobody's talking about it.
It's okay that he talked to the refs.
I don't think during the game, no doubt it is, because it's part of the game. You know, you're in the flow of it. When you take yourself from going to talking to your team, there's no time on the clock, the refs are by themselves, and you go talk to them at halftime of a game to change the way they call the game.
Did it take place on the court or in?
During halftime, the teams have left the court, and he's talking to the refs. I don't think that's okay.
Where?
As a coach. The sideline reporter didn't say, but it was just a little thing she said. Yeah, at halftime, he went over to the refs and talked to them.
In the hallway? Totally fine.
I don't think so. As a coach...
Well, you just put a pause on what's going on when halftime comes
I don't
around.
think it's with what it's not the coach's place to go affect the refs' like decision making. Now, obviously, you can criticize bad calls when they happen, but here's the thing: there weren't any bad calls in that first half. There was really nothing for him to get mad about at all. He inserted himself to change the game outside of what a coach should be able to do. I think, just because of who he is.
We have different views on that.
I don't think the coach. It's not a coach's place to change how a ref calls the game. The refs are supposed to be removed from the game and call the game as it's meant to be called.
That's impossible, though, to you.
I know it's not, but you have to respect that. You can't, as the coach, go change that as the coach. That is breaking what the game is supposed to be. It is
I can
fundamentally breaking what
understand
the
it
game is supposed to be.
if your players are getting raped.
They weren't, though. It was very well called. Wisconsin just doesn't foul you. They don't. Their hands are literally like almost behind their back when they're defending you. They don't touch you. Like, you have to go into them to get a foul call. And Duke wasn't.
Okay, first of all, what was the final score of the game?
5 points.
Who won?
Duke. There were 3 calls within a minute that were just blatantly missed. Then the refs came out and said, "Oh, during an instant replay, yeah, we didn't get like the thing that we were supposed to get." Sorry.
See, to you, I just told the story about how I love people who go to any lengths to win.
I know. I see that's where your mentality is.
And that's exactly what Coach K did. He knew that's what he had to do to win.
I'm not a fan of that.
And I think that's okay.
I really don't. I think the way things are set up is how you have to respect it. And if you go outside of that, that's a problem. Otherwise, why even play?
That's part of the game, though.
No, it's not. It's
It is.
patently not part of the game.
Politics are part of any game. And if you think
The
it's
deflating
not,
thing, you specifically, in the rules, can't fuck with the footballs. That's in the rules.
right?
Yeah, and it was in the rules before they did it, and it's going to be in the rules after they did it.
Did they do it?
Yeah,
no
they
proof.
did. They actually, they do have the proof. They did weigh the balls, and it was deflated.
The thing was to
Ball
you.
that's been played with or hasn't been played
The
with?
thing was to you.
During the game, they noticed them and weighed them.
Okay.
The
A
Patriots,
ball will lose deflation.
the
during a
Patriots
game.
were more deflated
Bill,
than Indianapolis
Bill
at the beginning
Nye
of the
proved
game.
it that they couldn't have lost that much air pressure because of
They
the
couldn't have.
temperature.
They
Bill
couldn't
Nye,
have.
be on my side.
You're a Jets fan. Why are you defending the Patriots?
The thing is,
I will defend whoever I feel.
What
don't
I'm
understand.
saying to you is, I
We won't be the
respect
top of our division.
mentality more than the actual act. You understand that, right?
Yeah, the mentality is different than the act. That act, you cross the line from just thinking something
Okay.
and having the
This
the
brings me
attitude about
back
it
to my main
to
point.
cheating.
This brings me back to my main point.
Is
Okay,
deflating the ball giving you that much of an edge, though?
That's an up for debate. Fine, but
mean-
that doesn't change the fact that the rule is there. You can't do it, regardless of the outcome of what happens in the game. And yes, Indianapolis got their shit clocked by the Patriots, but they broke the rule. Someone
Okay.
on the Patriots staff broke that rule. Because
Okay.
the only people who touched those balls were either the refs or the Patriots. And the refs were the ones who actually went and weighed the thing. So they're not going to catch themselves deflating balls. That's just dumb. So someone on the Patriots staff did it.
to you, do you know who had the most players test positive for
Seattle.
steroids?
Seattle. They
Seattle.
had 9 in 5 years.
So who cheated more?
I'm going to say the
Yeah,
performance
I hate
enhancing
the
drugs.
I hate the Seahawks. I think they're a bunch of thugs and just shitty players.
Thugs. Awesome.
They are. That's how they
Seattle.
act. That is how they act.
Seattle's like the most depressing place.
It is. I don't blame them.
All those thugs and depressed thugs in Seattle.
Yeah, it's like, but yeah, they're like the
First
fact
of all, Richard Sherman's a national treasure, and how dare you? He's a Stanford graduate.
yeah, and he has never been tested positive, has he?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Yeah, I mean his behavior is very crass, but I respect him. There's a lot of players on the Seattle team that I don't. I don't respect their coach.
Okay.
What?
You don't have 9 guys in 5 years get suspected or tested positive for steroids without the coach knowing. You don't. That's a very statistical outlier.
I can say my coach.
538 has done a piece on this. Nate Silver's thing.
Okay.
They've done a piece on there's no
I do
way.
respect Nate
There's
Silver.
no way people in the Seattle organization
No clue.
don't know or are not
He's a statistics
soliciting
guy.
the steroid
I like
use for the
statistics.
players when you have that many, because they have only had 80 some players on their full time roster in those 5 years. 9 of them are on
I bet
steroids.
it was more than that. But yeah, anyway.
I'm talking final roster,
Right,
final roster
yeah.
53 men.
Yeah,
Because they're Seattle's, they haven't had a lot of turnover, at least in their core starters.
Right.
Unlike a few teams, like even New England's had a lot of turnover.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle really hasn't, which is one of the reasons that they've stayed so defensively sound. But you don't have that many players go on steroids without some type of systematic usage going on there. That's a major statistical outlier,
Well, what percentages am I looking at here? 53 to 9.
which is a pretty good amount.
What
That's
is that percentage?
That's 20%.
They're really 20%.
Yeah, 5 is 10.
Oh yeah, that's pretty much 20.
That's
But
18% right there. That's a lot of people on your team on steroids
18%. I would
compared to the other teams where you maybe hear one in every decade.
you hear, but actually know about.
Yeah, they proved 9 did it. How many does it say about who didn't do it if 9 were caught doing it?
Someone just is better.
And by the way,
defense.
they all go under. They all.
You gotta understand though, steroids are rampant in the NFL.
I know they are. They have to be. You kidding me? 7-day turnaround and that kind of punishment. They have to be. Thursday night games needs to be
Average
abolished. But
2-year career.
yeah, I know they are. They're there. Of course
Yeah,
they are.
you have to.
Yeah, there's obviously
You have to
unreported
take
stuff going on.
something.
But when they're all undergoing the same testing, the same everything, and 9 people on one team, 1 on somebody else, there's a statistical difference there. There is. Because the tests are weighted the same, because they're the same.
See, to you, I don't believe in fair playing fields.
And that's stupid. I hate that.
No, they don't exist.
I know they don't.
For
but sports
different
is
reasons.
where they do,
For
or where they're
different
supposed
reasons.
to.
No, they don't.
Sports
they don't.
is where they're supposed to. I'm not saying they
No,
do.
let me explain myself, please.
Yeah.
Me versus LeBron James, is that a fair playing field?
no,
Well, no, because you said
Me
that.
versus DeMarco Murray, is that a fair playing field?
no.
Should I be allowed to get to DeMarco Murray?
Yeah.
That's the question we have to ask ourselves. Should I be allowed if I'm, let's just say Brendan Schaub, since I listen to his podcast all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and he went and he says he had a cup of coffee with the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah.
He went to training camp for 2 weeks and he left.
Holy shit, it's awesome.
So the question that becomes is it acceptable for him to try whatever means necessary to get that tight end spot, or does he just give up on his dream?
How does that tie into level playing fields, like in any way?
Because there is no level playing field. He's below the level playing field. So should he be allowed to take HGH to even that playing field?
Honestly, no. Because the other guys aren't. Then no.
But the playing field already isn't even.
No.
People act like it's Babe Ruth versus Albert Pujols, but Albert Pujols is so far ahead of Babe Ruth just physically to start with because of weightlifting and all this other stuff.
Yeah. I'm not saying there is no imbalance, but it's like the rules of the game, it's the way they're set up for the competition base. That's the level playing field. Obviously, people vary person to person. It's basic fucking humanity. I know that. I get that. That's just how life works.
Right.
But if it's going one person to one person, and that's it. Like there's nothing like artificially added to that.
Okay, so you can find out that you perform better eating only red meat and vegetables than a guy can just eating vegetables. That's a performance enhancer.
Yeah.
Where do we draw that line?
See, the HGH, that's kind of a gray area because it is natural. It's a natural chemical. Some of this stuff is not. It's like, where do we draw that line? Which kind of was going to get me to my other point about artificial intelligence, but we won't because we're already almost at an hour. That'll be next week. I'll write that down. But, yeah, it's an interesting argument. I don't think, though, that unless you're going to make it, like...
Okay.
Unless you're going to make it legal for everybody in this competition to do it, which if you do, fine, go for it. Because then at that point, it's them, whether or not they choose to do it, it's their decision. But if you're making it illegal, then it's like, and people are doing it against what the rules are, that does make it the unbalanced playing field. Because there are some who are knowingly breaking the rules to get an edge, while others are knowingly following the rules. And that is that unbalances the scale. See what I'm saying?
Yes, but I don't agree with you.
Like, if you're going to make it usable, which honestly I think baseball should at this point, what they really need to do is make sure, like, I don't know if they need to, but, like, amphetamines, when they outlawed those, completely changed baseball.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
Yeah, and, like, that's what really changed the game, not steroids. It was the amphetamines usage from the day-to-day players. But, anyway.
It was a group package.
No. Not right.
Buy one, get the others free.
No.
That's what it was.
Steroids don't have as big of an impact as being able to just mentally focus on playing the game every day. Because that's just what the amphetamines were allowing players to do. Really didn't have much to do with recovery time. It was all about just mentally being able to go out there and do the thing without not giving a shit. That was allowing for players who are basically the peak, almost the peak of humanity to.
How do
do it every
steroids
day.
work in the human body?
There's differences of what steroids do. There's the ones that help you recover faster, and then there's ones that like you can.
Let's do the one for performance enhancing then.
Yeah, that's what are you calling performance enhancing? Recovery
Becoming
faster,
larger.
or exactly there's
That's
different
performance
purposes for all of
enhancing.
them.
So your standard
The recovery,
anabolic-
you can get that out of a shake.
your standard anabolic steroid. So it's your Dianabol, testosterone falls in that category. So it's hormones that already
Are in the body,
And
but
there's
you're
also
increasing
body.
them.
major anti-inflammatories too. Like prednisone, I've been on that for Crohn's disease. It's a steroid
Okay.
because it's a massive anti-inflammatory. Yeah.
it's
again,
kind of a
it's-
steroid.
it's
but
a-
what my point was is that it allows your muscle fibers to heal faster.
Mm-hmm.
So, like if I'm doing bicep curls,
Yeah.
and I
You're
don't,
tearing your bicep,
I don't
yeah.
do bicep curls, but
Added
let's
context,
just use it as an example. You do
yeah.
burnouts on your, so you start with the 40 pounds and you work your way down to the 5 to increase that pump as much as possible. What that pump is called is hypertrophy. It's expanding your muscles to the absolute limit and basically breaking them.
I would say you're getting a deeper tear. That's what's happening there.
Yeah,
Okay.
technically it's called hypertrophy.
Okay, well, yeah, I mean...
Right. What steroids do is allow that hypertrophy to heal super fast.
Okay.
So the gains that would take you, and I don't know the exact date. I've never taken Dianabol or any of this stuff. obviously you can tell by looking at me, is that what would take a week to recover from in a workout takes you 2 days.
Yeah. So my thing is why
which is a massive performance enhancer because you're literally cutting your time down by.
But why
you're cutting your recovery time by 80%?
But as a professional athlete,
if that's the point,
you're supposed to perform on a weekly basis, and that would help you perform on a weekly basis. So why is that?
Well,
illegal.
So let's
it's
think about this.
It's not technically illegal. It's against the rules of the game.
Okay,
it's not illegal as a person to take them.
Okay. Well, as the rules of the game,
yes, it is.
Also illegal. But
Anabolics, it is.
Well, anyway. There are certain ones that are not.
It's illegal towards the game.
Yeah,
but why is that? You're expected to perform like a beast every Sunday.
It's illegal for the fact that, I had never played 10 games of football before. 10 weeks had practices in and out.
Okay.
And this was my freshman year of college. And by week 9, I was sore in a way I had never been sore in my life. Like, just moving hurt. It was hard to be there mentally.
But now your
to be able to do your job just because your body is screaming, fuck you.
Okay.
With every movement that you take.
So,
right. So you just have that extra hurdle to jump over.
Yeah.
You're taking a steroid.
Will help you reach that hurdle?
The hurdle isn't there.
Oh, okay.
You aren't sore because your body's healing at a faster rate.
Yeah.
It's increasing your testosterone, which puts down your inflammation.
Okay.
Which allows you.
Because the reason that most commissions, when they set up these rules as being something that their players can't take, outside of the legal ramifications of several of them, is the notion that it is outside of the norm of the human body, and that it unbalances unfairly the playing field for those that take it and those that don't.
Well, that's just
creates basically two different sets of rules. If Group A is on the thing and Group B is not, at that point, it's not the same game.
Well, that's okay.
That's the not mindset behind. I'm not saying it's 100% accurate or not, up for debate, but that's when your question was, why are they not? That's kind of why.
But that's okay. For some reason, well, then this doesn't explain to me because you take protein shakes, yeah,
right.
And where the fuck am I ever going to get 300% of vitamin D? That's out of the norm of the body.
Well, there are supplemental ways to do that.
Yeah.
But could that be considered performance?
That's performance enhancing then, in my eyes, because that helps. Yeah. And vitamin D just helps with everything.
A lot of it would have to do with the stuff to
mindset.
Obviously you can do it. I have to inject vitamin B12 in my system now.
Yeah.
But that kind of thing is seen as not the norm. Whereas just taking a supplement to use something that your body uses and is in food around you all the time.
But you're getting a straight concentrated form of this.
It's how you get it that is the difference for a lot of people. Instead of just, you could go drink a bigger glass of milk. Oh, you have to inject that into your bloodstream directly every other day after you work out. That's kind of weird. That's going to be illegal.
Well, I don't see how that you're getting it into the human body and it's
There's also the side of the detrimental side effects of a lot of them, which is why they're not.
Which are over-exaggerated. A lot of them.
Yeah.
A lot. I would rather be on Dianabol to help fix me with a physical issue than I would take antibiotics.
Yeah, because you take it.
Because antibiotics just destroy your gut flora, gut fauna. All that bacteria in there.
Yeah.
Just destroy it.
Yeah,
But because Dianabol and testosterone and all these other drugs have been labeled as this, that, and the other because of baseball.
Yeah.
It's more socially acceptable to take these antibiotics, that there's more money in selling to people.
Societal norms play a massive factor in why we can't take or do certain things.
But
pills or injecting, what's the norm then?
Misinformation. What do you mean?
Of taking in a steroid then?
Depends on your goal.
Exactly.
Recover faster. I'm assuming that's what most people are doing.
That is,
I
to
don't
an extent.
know enough about it, Joey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know enough about it to answer it intelligently.
If the societal norms are not there, it's just legal for everybody to take, whether you choose to or not. That's your call. If you want to stay in that playing field, you're probably going to take it anyway. Most of them undoubtedly do. At some point, do it.
It just makes them harder to get. The people who are going to take it are going to take
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just more about, and the 50-game suspension thing, I don't know. That's that first time use 50 games in baseball now? I think it is.
I have no idea.
I think it's first time
I
use
know
50 games.
the UFC just passed 1-year suspension for every failed test.
I can understand the UFC because
that's a contact sport.
That is a contact on contact sport.
Without pads, without Because when you're kicking somebody in... So John Jones can kick harder than Chael Sonnen ever will, right?
Sure.
But when you don't know who
I have no clue, but continue.
I knew who the first person was. I don't know the second.
I know a lot of old UFC, but continue on.
So
please.
the thing about that is it's legal for me to kick someone in the heel with in their head.
Yeah. Just like his punching behind the head, yes.
Right. Well, because your hand is soft. Your hands are fragile little things. They're easy to break.
There's
your heel and
283
your
bones.
shin, you can put your shin across somebody's forehead. And then they say, but you can't use performance-enhancing drugs.
Well, if you're going to... Okay.
But it's so violent. Because you can do that, I understand the restriction on it.
Yeah. I 100% agree.
And
So,
then they
but
get
say
into
this,
using
like, say
ECO and stuff.
Say
and
all of a
it's little
sudden,
different.
in football, it's now 2 weeks between games.
Right.
What do we do with steroids then?
You can abolish them because you're more of a rest period.
Because, I mean, football's pretty damn violent, too. You got a guy full speed, 40 yards, just going to nail a dude after he catches a pass while he's fully extended in the head.
Yeah, but
helmet or not, that's violent as shit.
Yeah, but for an hour, we're going to beat the fuck out of each other.
You know,
it's actually 15 minutes because it's 3 rounds of 5
But
minutes.
I'm still... You gave an exaggerated thing. I'm giving another...
I'm not. Go watch safeties play. They come 30 yards across the field all the damn time.
We're talking about two different things here because in a standard football game, there's actually... I don't remember the exact number.
Yeah, it's not that much
There's 60-minute
time.
games, but it's like
25
5 minutes.
It's like 20 minutes of actually
5
going.
minutes or less of actually going.
I'm talking like full speed and like going. There's kind of different things, but like the full speed once the plays get going.
No, like while plays are going on, it's
not
5 minutes or less.
But you do have guys running full speed.
15 minutes of taking shots, potential shots to the
different.
head, wars. It's a different thing.
That's why I changed the rules of how football is going. Say all of a sudden there's 2 weeks between games. Not the recovery time is so much longer.
It doesn't.
At that point, it really is it necessary
to do what
for the recovery period, for the recovery like types of steroids. Longer time between games, which is the major reason players don't want to have the players' union sign up for like the blood testing, things like that, because they're like the recovery time is so much, and what they want to abolish Thursday night games, those type of things, which they're almost probably going to do.
I can agree with the Thursday night games. I don't.
Yeah, the players' union. That's going to be the major reason we have another NFL strike is Thursday night games. They need to go. Like it's stupid. 3.5 day turnaround.
I love Thursday night games though.
And again, like,
nothing wrong.
But you know what I
point.
mean. I love them. I love
as a
games.
viewer, it's gonna be amazing.
Yeah. But I'm totally selfish at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to throw that in there too. For my selfish opinion, I love Thursday night games. Where was I going to go with that?
We're getting we're like right at an hour almost right now.
That's all right.
We're in the middle of so much shit though. Like we just have to let this fly.
All right.
2-week games as an answer for steroids.
I'm not saying it's the answer. I was just hypothetically
giving a reason
to
not.
Yeah.
My hypothetical answer is no. Because I don't know. Well, Damian Tomlinson, the super good Chargers running back in the day, and it wasn't that long ago. Maybe
it was like
4 years.
4 years ago, he
like
retired,
that.
something like that. Yeah.
He said you had to prepare your body to go through a car accident every week. Scientifically, they've proven that the amount of trauma that those guys take week to week is a car accident at, was it 35, 45 miles an hour, something like that. And so they have to be in that good of shape.
Mm-hmm.
Would a week in between give you more of a benefit? Yes. But then all of a sudden you're playing football 6 months out of the year.
No, I'm saying also at the same time you keep the season the exact length. Like cut the games. Because your playoff system is great.
Oh, then you get into a whole different...
Or you make the entire season just a long playoff. Like a double elimination playoff. At that point.
Yeah, it's way too hypothetical.
I know. It's a
for
massive...
a whole host of financial
It brings up a
reasons
bunch of
that
different
wouldn't work.
questions and stuff like that. But I'm talking just on the hypothetical, physical side of it.
I don't think it has anything to do with steroids to you.
I don't know. I was just posing the question.
Right, but week to week. Okay, so you want to...
Because by Tuesday, after a game, they're practicing.
Yeah,
most teams get Mondays off.
They watch team.
Yeah.
They watch film Tuesdays, and then Wednesday they'll start. And they don't even really do contact anymore.
No.
They've been talking about how that's a lot of problems that guys are having now, missing tackles and stuff, is because they've cut down their contact so much.
Yeah.
But it's because of all these head injuries. what do you do about the head injuries? There was this guy. He was the receiver for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh,
something like that.
what's his name?
And he was in a fight with his girlfriend. And are we thinking about the same thing? He jumped onto the truck when she was pulling out of the driveway.
Yeah.
And he hit his head on the ground and died.
Yeah.
They did
Most people it
they
wouldn't.
did an autopsy on him, and he had the brain of an 80-year-old Alzheimer's patient.
Yep.
Yeah. And then you read articles like, CTE is not a real thing. Like,
No, it is.
CTE, what's that?
that's the thing where like the brain after so many concussions you
Oh, okay.
sustain,
Yeah.
it doesn't heal itself correctly.
Explains
basically,
Troy
and it
Aikman.
leads to depression and a bunch of other stuff.
Right. So the question becomes, what do you do about that? Because I don't mind the steroids so much because that's been happening for a long time.
The train's left the
It's the
station.
nature of the game.
Yeah.
So steroids, I don't know. Honestly, I don't mind them so much. The problem is when you have a contact sport like the UFC,
Yeah.
like football, and then it comes back for me more of a question about how do you eliminate that from the game.
Yeah.
I don't think you can truly eliminate it.
You can't unless you get rid of the pads.
Which at that point you're basically playing rugby.
No, it's
Not
completely
because there's,
different.
because within the points of the game, but like as far as the
Right.
contact goes, fairly similar.
Well, yeah, then you have an experimental year
Yeah.
where all these people have to and then you have an entirely different set of problems.
Yeah.
Oh, God, yeah.
Which is the reason they
Shoulder
made the
injuries.
pads in the first place.
Yeah, they aren't head related, but
That's true.
you have more separated shoulders.
Yeah. Broken collarbones, fucking...
Broken
list of
collarbones are a big one. Most commonly broken bone in the United States are collarbones.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
because
figured it'd be
it's
there.
what takes the brunt of when you brace yourself. Your collarbone takes most of it.
Right.
Unless you don't hit squarely, which then your forearm's fucked,
Yeah.
or your wrist. But if you catch yourself squarely,
Right.
your collarbone's taking it because it's the thinnest initially of the bones. When it grows back, it's going to be way fucking thicker.
Right.
But it takes forever and it hurts like a bitch.
Well, because you can't breathe.
Yeah, because it's literally
Yeah.
like right on top of your chest cavity.
Diaphragm area?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, your diaphragm's more down. Right.
Well,
but
I
you
mean,
move
it's
your
kinda-
diaphragm.
Yeah.
It
It moves
your
affects
chest
your
cavity.
collarbone.
Yeah.
Yeah. I understand.
It leads to
Like
the
it's
area.
in the
yes.
part of the chest
Yes.
that will like any motion affects it entirely. But yeah, like there's a lot of different things. Like, and then of course there's a societal impact. Like, professional sports team are now saying, "Hey, steroids free for all." Like, what does the
Oh, there's gotta be
the
a
social
limit.
side of things happen? Because I mean, these are the people that kids are aspiring to be.
They learn how to take steroids safely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, you really think lawmakers are going to be cool with that?
No.
Exactly. There's also that societal side.
No,
of
but they
the
learn how to
equation, too.
take steroids safely. That's the direct result of that happening.
Yeah, eventually.
And
I
I
think.
don't think a whole lot of people could fight me on that. Besides on just purely, this is how this makes me feel grounds.
Which is a shitload of politics right now.
Right. But
Yeah.
like, look at Portugal. Is it Portugal who got rid of criminal sentences for drug possession?
Yeah, it's one of them. Yeah,
Yeah, it's Portugal or Spain, one of them.
yeah.
One of those goofy fucking countries on that peninsula there. And their overdose rate is down like 50%.
Yeah.
Their problem rate's down 50. It might even be more than that. I
It's
can't
more
remember.
than that, yeah.
Yeah.
I know this. It's
But
yeah.
just letting
It's
it
like
be
seven-
allowed and not criminalized so it can happen all out in the open.
People just get smarter about it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has
it's
to
a
happen.
direct result.
Yeah.
Because that way, what we have, and this kind of relates to sports, but it's a bigger, you're talking
Yeah.
about
Bigger thing.
social norms.
Yeah, it's more like if
So-
that happens, what's the time frame on that? 10 years before we see a true like definitive.
It's been out for a
changeover?
while.
Well, in Amsterdam, they said it was like 5.
I'm talking like from right now. How long does it take us to have like steroids decriminalized?
I
all
can't
drugs?
answer that
I
question.
don't
No, I'm like just to, like because I'm thinking like 20 years for us nationwide. Some states are close on certain things, not all things.
What we need is for the Republicans to shift their stance.
Basically, be libertarians
Right.
on
And
the
I
social side of
I
things.
think it's coming.
Because that's their idea, their concept is very libertarian. No government shouldn't give a shit about who you are and what you
They
do.
are, they
But
are
they-
not libertarian.
No, that's
Ted Cruz, Santorum, they're not. Finish
I know.
your thought.
It's like the Republican ideal on the social side is very libertarian, just because of the vocabulary. The vocabulary is government interference on social life. It's non-existent. Get the fuck out of it. That's the Republican supposed ideal.
Right.
In practice, no way in hell. The only guy who was even close got laughed out of office, even though he had the second most delegates in, 2008?
You're talking about Rand?
Yeah.
Well, Rand made a mistake. He wrote a letter to a donor that said, everyone knows that 90% of the black population in Washington, D.C. is criminal. And the thing was, he was probably telling the objective truth.
Yeah.
But you can't write it in a letter that gets published in the New York Times.
Yeah.
Okay, the problem, social norms and drugs. How long does it take us?
Because we already have a nationwide thing of like 60-some% decriminalized marijuana. Just right now, do it. In numerous polls, it's above 60% and growing.
Right.
And from there, it's just going to spiral, like as it has in a bunch of other society things like gay marriage and things like that, where it's just going to upward trend that way.
It becomes a PR issue.
Yeah.
God, there's so many points you brought up that I want to beat the shit out of. Where do I start? Okay, we'll start with the Republican Party.
Are we gonna? Oh yeah, fuck it. Hour and a half podcast. Let's do it.
Let's do 2. It sounds like
Let's
more
do
fun.
whatever.
And cut. Okay. Just for myself, in case we have to cut there, I can cut there.
I really hope you don't end up cutting that.
Yeah.
I might. We'll see.
Okay. All right. Problem with. I'm gonna have to grab a piece of paper here so I can keep my thoughts straight. I can't do that just talking. Okay. So, Republican Party is supposed to be the don't fuck with you party. The problem is that they've adopted Christian beliefs as their core. Not there's anything wrong with being Christian, but
At its base, being Christian, not being hypocritical Christians.
the reason I didn't vote for president in 2012 was because I had a choice. Either I had to let the government decide I was going to do for health care, or they were going to tell people what they could and couldn't do with their bodies. Abortion. Either way, on both sides of the coin, they were going to mess with people's right to choose what they're going to do with their body.
I think the thing with Obamacare is massively. It's basically making you make a choice to just have it. Don't care what the choice is, but you have to have it. Because it has massively cut down on premium costs for a lot of people. Because the risk pool is so much wider.
What I'm saying is that the party of individual choice doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's not there.
That's my main point.
Yeah, I got you.
So the only choice for the way forward is because I consider myself a Republican. I'm not really, because I hate that term progressive. But it's kind of that. That's kind of what I consider myself.
I would go with 21st century conservative.
No, I'm in the common sense party.
Again,
let's call it that.
Kind of that.
Yeah. But it just sounds a lot less fancy. That's more approachable to me. Is what makes common sense.
Yeah.
And I do like the idea of libertarianism. I love it. Like, of all the theologies, political theologies, you can take the logic of that thing and you can nail it to fucking anything, and you cannot move that logic. The problem with it is if we adopted it, the idea that everyone's responsible for themselves.
The nation would go to shit like that.
Well, I don't know if it would go to shit, but certain aspects of it would, and I don't think we would like it.
Yeah.
So it comes somewhere in the middle, but it's still got to have that choice of allow people to make their own decisions, and that doesn't exist right now. As far as steroids in sports and steroids just being legal in general, I don't know. Okay, just legal drugs in general. People are going to figure it out. People will figure it out. There is such a thing as a guy who can use opium or heroin recreationally. That does exist. You make it illegal for someone to go home and have a party and have some cocaine, and they get a 25-year sentence for it. You push that guy further underground to where he never has to deal with a person who might potentially rat on him. So by doing that, you push him further down the rabbit hole from making a life for himself until he ends up in prison.
Yeah.
So in a way, you're just creating more criminals than would exist otherwise. I think steroids are the same way. And if it's out in the open and we can have an honest conversation about what the real effects of it are, like we went through that DARE program and they told us all the things that pot does to you. Yeah. A friend of mine told me that they were lying.
Yeah.
That it's not really a gateway drug. That it's not really going to ruin my life. A friend told me this. That's what you run into, is we're figuring out now that we've been lied to for a long time about this stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it's going to play out. In Colorado, I think we have a few years before we really see the implications of it. There's more money there now because there are people flooding into that state, right?
Yeah, you're going to need to let things cool down. But there are some statistics that are still viable right now. Like the absolute zero amount of overdoses in Colorado.
It's pot.
Exactly. People were like, oh my God, it's pot. Like, yeah, it's pot.
You understand the overdose amount for someone to do is twice
Lawmakers
their body
don't
weight.
give a shit. I know. It's very frustrating.
I'd have to smoke like 400 pounds of pot
to get their point
OD.
across in Congress. A lawmaker would be like, see, I made this outside. There's no global warming, and he was holding up a fucking snowball. That's our Congress. The guy who's on the science committee running it, has publicly said, yeah, I don't read any scientific journals. I don't believe it. I don't really believe in science all that much.
Well, it's because
I don't believe in science.
Well, it's because if an investigative person like Bill Nye comes up with a contradictory opinion than what he has, he's a paid shill.
Yeah.
He's not going by the scientific evidence, then he's a paid shill.
Yeah.
And that's an entirely different set of fucking problems. The thing about Colorado is I'm waiting for the dust to clear on this thing.
Yeah. Because right now, like, their tax revenue is awesome because they've had a lot of new startups, a lot of new money they've had to, a lot of loans, like government, like stuff go out that like has brought the state a lot of money.
Right.
But they've also had like some, like obviously some rollout problems because like cops have to like shift their enforcement, which does matter.
DUIs are down by 50% in that state,
and that's another like
which a lot of people in other states wouldn't like to see.
No.
They make a lot of money on DUIs, but if they can make it back on weed taxes,
and therein lies the problem. Like, there's one of those.
Then you're creating criminals for the sake of the state, and those things ruin lives. They really do. Like, if you have a job with a major corporation,
you're fucked.
One ODUB, it's supposed to be a misdemeanor charge. Yeah, right. See you later.
Yeah.
Even
open containers do that.
Yeah, definitely.
We've seen that.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, it's. That's again, those lower DUIs are one of those unintended consequences of the law in a positive way.
Right.
And like it'll be interesting to see in the next, probably give it 3 to 5 years.
Right. I'm interested to see. Well, even in like Amsterdam, though, everything it's free game.
Yeah.
You'll see guys smoking crack on the street in Amsterdam. I've seen YouTube videos, TV shows, guys smoking crack on the street.
See, the only one.
And the thing is, they'll publicly post like the government will find out, hey, there's some bad cocaine coming into town, and they'll publicly post, hey, please beware when buying cocaine. We've seen some bad stuff coming through. Be careful.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be. That's the government looking out for its
It's almost
people
like hey, we had to have a government recall on a car.
Them.
Like they put out notifications for recalls and stuff.
Right.
That kind of thing. And
But do you think this is a little different, but do you think the size of the country takes an effect on how long things get processed?
Partially, yeah. It's like that's what I was going to get to my point. Like Amsterdam
we are fucking huge compared
is
to
an
Amsterdam.
odd case study because we don't really have a place like that. New York is close because it's such a massive tourist hub. So are a couple other major cities on the coasts, but there isn't really anything quite like it because everything is decriminalized in Amsterdam. Like you can't 100% take what happens in one country to another because even on face value, there's so many different variables in each individual case.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm giving lawmakers too much credit. There's no way they fucking thought that through. Not really.
Well, and you aren't accounting for entrenchment either.
Yeah.
Is that what I was trying to say? Maybe not.
You're talking like societal entrenchment on changing those norms?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Where in Europe, they've
but
never given
it's also different problems. That's not comparing Amsterdam to the United States. I think it's an idea that scales up. To use startup terms.
Yeah.
Like Morocco, it's pretty much free game over there.
Well, it's always been, really.
Well, since the 50s.
A lot of European countries, too, they've never really given a fuck.
Was it William S. Burroughs?
I know the name.
That famous writer over there, Jack Kerouac, all those famous beatnik writers.
Yeah.
You know, they were over there doing heroin and putting out a lot of really good literature during that time. That's just completely besides the point.
Go read their stuff.
I don't like Kerouac. You can skip his stuff. Anyway.
Audible.com. Be a sponsor, please.
Okay. Where was I going with this?
Entrenchment. Societies. Startups. Trending upward.
Scaling up.
Yeah.
I think it's so far it's scaled because I'm just going to make the assumption there are more people in Colorado than there are in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty close.
Yeah,
And then we'll say between Washington and Colorado that it's definitely more.
Oh, undoubtedly, just because of Seattle and Denver by themselves.
Right. So then we get into it's work there.
Yeah.
So that leads me to believe that this idea scales upwards.
Yeah.
But does it reach a tipping point?
Yeah, I think another
Towards
another
the
5 states that do it, particularly Minnesota because of the Mayo Clinic. Mm-hmm. If they do, a lot of states are going to follow because they have a massive dual urban population in the Twin Cities and the world's biggest hospital.
Well, it's in a well-respected hospital.
Very much so.
Not just the world's biggest.
It's
Yeah.
yes,
You
no.
know.
It's the ones like, hey, you're going to die? Go there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh god.
Well,
Unless you have cancer.
Egyptian-
Then maybe go to the Cancer Society ones. But if you got them, you generally go to the Mayo.
The
You know.
Egyptian king has cancer. He goes to Rochester, Minnesota.
Yeah.
You know. It's fascinating that that place is so close to where we are. We're actually kind of lucky about that in a lot of ways. My main point is I think this idea scales up. Everything I've seen of it so far scales up. That if you give people liberty and the option to choose what they're going to do with their lives, I think the amount of fuck-ups actually goes down.
Yeah.
Because then people don't have to repress who they are.
Yeah. And the worst fuck-ups don't happen because that like self-fulfilling style prophecy, you make it illegal, moderation goes out the fucking window.
It also leads to a lot of mindset thing, that psychological thing that you're talking about, which is also fascinating. Because you find out, well, I smoked pot, got busted with pot, there goes being a lawyer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's true. You can't do the top notch things.
Avenues stay open for longer in your life.
Yeah.
Right. Because think about, they always say the greatest boxer in the world never stepped off his porch. He never made it to a boxing gym. And I know a lot of smart kids that's happened to. Because they got in trouble with the law here, there, whatever point in their life. I've seen that happen a lot. And all of a sudden these kids get branded losers. Mm-hmm. And they give up on themselves because of that. So I think you eliminate a lot of that problem.
Yeah, and it has to start with the legal stigma. Like, that needs to go first. Because society takes so much longer to change. You can change a law pretty quickly, comparatively to society. Especially as one as big as ours.
I think the social thing has to happen first.
I think they need to go in tandem, but the first thing that will change...
Well, they do go in tandem, yes.
The first thing that does need to go is at least the easing of restrictions first. Then the society really kicks in, and that's when the laws completely flip. Because, in Colorado, it started with medical marijuana, medical oils, things like that.
It started with the social part of it.
But they went together.
Right, but what I'm saying is the social beliefs
and then when the national
led
society,
to the laws.
Yeah. And now that the national society is kicked over, now the laws are going to really change. I think in the next few years we're going to see a massive change in laws.
Right.
It's different issue to issue too. Because, again, and that's where kind of the Supreme Court stuff comes in, because they can make a decision like that. They hear a suit, and they change it immediately. Like Roe v. Wade in the 70s. Completely changed the landscape.
Right.
Overnight changed it.
The thing is,
we have a weird system like that.
It's going to take so long for the social belief in Iowa, Nebraska,
I don't know.
Kansas.
Iowa almost passed medical oil from marijuana this past year. It barely lost.
I believe it's not as long as you think.
Stigma.
No, the social stigma I understand. I mean,
I
believe
think
that social
diseases,
stigma it's not as far from changing as you think it is.
Yeah, I think the big thing has been the medical side. As prevalent as things like Crohn's disease get and diseases that can be treated effectively and have shown to be able to be treated effectively, that like societal benefit side is really taking off.
Mm-hmm.
And then from then on, then it's just society as a whole, like, kicking in. Because, like, Minnesota's probably going to do it in 2 years. They're going to have medical marijuana.
Yeah.
Almost guarantee it.
I'm actually amazed they don't have it already.
So am I. Like, they, like...
But it's because of...
And at that point, it is the Mayo Clinic saying, yeah. I think they haven't said anything about it, but, like, somebody's spending money to basically make it not happen in Minnesota.
Oh, absolutely.
Because of how much pharmaceutical money gets spent in that state. A lot.
Yes and no. Their other problem is they're a huge agricultural state.
Very true. Again, like they're a really weird dichotomy of cultures. You have those farmers, like basically, generally older skewing, Republican skewing, and then the massive metropolitan stuff in Rochester and the Twin Cities,
Where there isn't,
which is
in the
almost always
agricultural
liberal.
portion where there isn't an exchange of ideas.
No,
Yeah.
it's very
It's
set
like
in
entrenched,
stone ideas.
like you were saying,
Right.
entrenchment.
So that's what's holding Minnesota back. You get to Michigan, and they're almost the same state, but not really.
Yeah.
And here Michigan is 10 years ahead, or we'll just say 10 years, whatever it actually was. But it was less than 10 years. And they're so far ahead. Well, it's because they have so many more urban centers where there is this exchange of ideas, and people realize, hey, it's not that big of a deal. Because the kids in high schools have had access to it for a while. They know it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
It's part of it. And then, yeah, it's just, we're going to be one of the last ones, the Midwestern states. And we're always kind of last on a lot of things.
I would say I was
seatbelt laws.
I was usually towards the front. Like, we were the second state to allow like gay marriage and things like that. We were like the first to do women voting and a lot of other stuff like that.
Yeah.
When the gay marriage thing,
Again, that was
the
the
older
court system
society
doing it.
was upset, and now they're
That's
very
what I mean.
accepting ever since that just got kind of pushed through.
Oh, no,
mean-
they're still pissed about it.
Well, the ones I have talked to, very accepting about it. More people are coming
Mostly 'cause
out about it.
Once they realized,
and
the Supreme Court, they did their job. Oh, we shouldn't have been pissed about that. Sorry.
yeah, like the people I've associated with, they're like, oh, well, now I'm not upset about gay marriage. I'm like, well, I've never been.
I know I can never bring this up to John, like my step grandpa or whatever.
Very
Because-
old school.
Oh, seriously, I can't. I was like, the Supreme Court was just doing their job.
Yeah.
Somebody was being discriminated against, and they said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
And rightfully did change the law.
Mhm. They all agreed
Immediately.
on it.
And then people freaked out, like, oh, the courts can't do that. Yeah, the court's been doing it for 200 fucking years.
Yeah.
Get over it. They've been doing it since before you were born.
That was all funded out of state, too, that threw those judges out.
I know.
What?
Bobby Jindal came in
Yeah.
and spent, like, what, $60 million of his,
Yeah.
like, campaign money on it?
I
And,
didn't realize
yeah,
that, actually.
outside money kicked out two of the better judges Iowa's probably ever had.
I don't know anything about how they were as judges, but
It's
people's-
merit based. It's merit election based. You get appointed, and then you have to get elected to stay.
Right. It's just fascinating that people. It's the way the tide's going.
Yeah.
Time
changes.
People that are
change with them
it's
or
the closest
fall
you are to
behind.
changing it when the resistance is fiercest. At some points,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
The tougher something gets, be able to do.
yeah.
The closer you are.
Like,
it's
and
that way with
we've
anything.
seen that backlash turn in Indiana, like this last 2 weeks. You read about that law?
No.
Ridiculous.
They're like, oh, it's the same as the federal law. Fuck no, it ain't. It wasn't when you passed it.
Wait. Read to the outside
Okay,
audience.
the Religious Freedom Restoration Act, was that
Right.
what it was called?
Whatever.
It
some
then
bullshit.
is the federal law that passed under Clinton, which basically says you can't like discriminate based on sexual orientation, this kind of thing, and then also if you can like there's some religious freedoms from these type of things.
What it was a guy's.
Still don't understand.
Basically, to better define the separation of church and state was one of the reasons it was made.
What it was a guy's for businesses to be able to discriminate against gays.
In Indiana's case. In the federal case, that's not the issue. In the federal, it has really nothing to do with the LGBT community. The only thing similar is really the name. In this
Still
case.
have no clue what's going on.
Indiana passed the thing saying, oh, yeah, it's this great Freedom Act with the exact same name as the federal one, trying to kind of sneak it in because under the Clinton, that law is very well received. It went over very well, and it cleaned up a lot of this whole, can the church like not hire gays? What can they do with that kind of thing? Cleaned up a lot of that in the 90s.
Okay.
Because there was some massive confusion because that was when like the second wave of it kind of really kicked off was in the 90s under Clinton because he was a massively popular liberal president.
Okay, let's just talk about it in Indiana.
In Indiana's
though.
case, they copied the name and then basically said if you're operating as a religious thing, you can opt out as a business because they classified businesses specifically as people, which is complete and utter bullshit.
Like group of people.
And like I think in the federal government's case, you have to have like a business of like 4 people to be able to like discriminate based on religious reasons, which is obscenely
So
small.
you can? Is that the bill passed?
But you like how many businesses do you know have 4 people that offer services to other people? Not a ton.
I can form an LLC, and that counts as.
I know, but anyway, and I'm probably getting the facts wrong. We've talked about a lot of stuff tonight.
That's cool.
But the Indiana thing was like if you're a business / person, people using religious beliefs can discriminate against other people based purely on those religious beliefs. There was no language about sexual orientation, gender, race, anything like that.
So you
But
can
the
discriminate.
loophole was that it allowed you to deny services to gays and treat them differently than other people.
That's
Just if you're
bullshit.
right.
Because
Exactly.
if you're a Christian-based company,
It was in place for like 2 weeks, and then everyone was freaked. And like in the NCAA, one of the most corrupt institutions, like in sporting history, has
I'll
said,
back that, yeah.
yeah, that law's on the books. We're not coming back to Indianapolis next year for the Final Four. We'll
Yep.
probably go like Minnesota or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
And then next day, bam, changed.
Yep.
very
it was
extremist.
separate
It's funny
but
how money
equal
can make you
laws,
change the
almost.
mind.
Pretty
it's
much,
funny how
yeah. That's
Well, and
pretty
that's
similar.
just it. And the thing is, as a business, I have every right to deny services to you because I don't want to give money to you.
yeah,
Or
because
I
you
don't
don't
want
want
to
to give
provide
money.
you a service.
Yeah,
Right? That's so. Let's just say I don't want to sell you this cup.
yeah.
I just don't want to.
Yeah.
Your money should be good. It's not for sale to you. What's that line?
The line there is, why not?
Yeah, there's got to be a reasoning.
It's like the
Why
say,
don't you want to sell me that cup?
like if it's Joey and me, is it obvious because I have an amazing beard? Is that why you're not selling me the cup and not Joey?
And then we
That
can break
kind
that
of
into a
thing?
law. Why? Yeah.
But does this define me? Whereas like you're
Absolutely
using those
does.
differences to define who you are as an individual. And
Okay.
by saying because of that difference, you're less of a human being than that guy.
Right.
That's not okay. That's not.
But you understand the point I'm making.
Yeah.
I do.
I'm
I
playing
do.
devil's
I get you
advocate.
now.
I
here.
totally
I know.
understand. I've known you for a long time.
Yeah.
I totally understand where you're going.
Yes.
But like that was the point, Joey, and that's why people freak the
Okay.
fuck out. Rightfully so. Like it was
Makes
a
sense.
terrible law. Other
Very
states,
terrible.
Other states were like like our tourism things, like our like packs and stuff. We're done. Not going to touch you until that gets changed. A lot of businesses pulled out of like conferences and things like that. And
Was
like,
it Illinois or Indiana where it was Illinois where the KKK popped up first, right?
I don't know.
I think it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a history of bigotry in that region, is what
Oh.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
Probably.
You know,
Makes
so
sense.
I wasn't really surprised that they tried to push it through.
I just.
Yeah, and it just
Why
kind of
would
like
you limit yourself to that market though? As a business, I want to sell and give everything I have.
Well, and that's just it.
to a
Like, how
group
much
of
of a
people.
difference does it make? Like, if I'm a wedding planner,
Yeah.
the gays are going to spend a bunch of money on weddings.
yeah. You shitting me? They've been
You
denied
know.
it for so long. They're going to go fucking all
Yeah.
out.
Well,
Balls
just
to
the
walls.
nature. I realize I'm being like.
Well, no, it's
At
I don't
some
think
point-
it's discriminatory, but I think you can
No.
call a black cat a black cat.
yeah.
You know,
Exactly. And there are statistical
Fabulous.
things that say, hey, they spend more money in these type of economic situations.
It's true.
That's not It's I don't know if you want to call it maybe profiling, but is that
It's
discrimination?
profiling. Yeah, it's not.
Is that-
it's
that's not discrimination?
It was done in good humor, but anyway,
That's just using defined characteristics to show certain things.
Yeah. Oh,
That's not one thing or the other.
the most
It just is.
the most ridiculous thing I ever saw. I have this. He was one of the. He's a social justice warrior. He was one of my professors at college.
Good or bad term for you, that term?
Social justice warrior.
Yeah.
It sounds really fucked up for me.
I'll tell you the story, and then you can
Okay.
see what I think
Okay.
about it, because I think you already have a pretty good idea.
Okay.
Okay. He shared on his Facebook page that one day that using the terms male and female was sexist.
I don't believe that.
See, that's where I think. That's why I think that
Defining a difference. Hey, Tom, you just had a kid, right?
you're a father. You're a terrible human being.
No,
Because
no.
of
Just
What
play
gender
along
is
with
it?
my- You're,
Sure.
you're
yeah,
a kid, right?
Totally.
Was it a boy or a girl? Well, why should that matter?
Just fucking ask it.
It's your kid's birthday next week. I want to know what to get him. Well, it shouldn't matter. 'Cause that's what you're leading into.
Yeah.
Is how dare you judge if my kid's going to want to play with a football or a doll? People don't identify that way. Yeah, they do.
Or the next question is, what is she into? It's really not that much to freak out about.
Defining differences
is not
that
bad.
are true is not necessarily discrimination.
It's just better getting to a point about things. Like in that situation, you're trying
It's
to
telling
get
the truth.
You're just trying to figure out something out.
Yeah, you're just asking a question. Like,
Right.
I want
It's
to
like
know what
the
this
other
is.
day. I
Hey,
have
Joey, we're taking your car camping, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a Cadillac. Yeah.
No, let's just say we're just taking your car
Okay.
camping.
All right.
Okay. So I show up with all my camping gear, assuming that we're going in your truck. And you drive a two-seater Ferrari. It's important to know the difference between those two different types of cars.
Very much so.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And not being able to define that difference is very limiting.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah. Because at that point, you're like, why even bother asking? Because you're never going to be able to get any information on anything.
Right. And if you ask that question and it's racist or discriminatory, to ask Joey, basing him on his economical profile, if it's a Cadillac or a Ferrari, which is very important information.
Very much is.
That's my point.
I actually drive a Ferrari, just saying. But
You have a pretty awesome 84 Camaro. I'll give you that.
no, but it's like, is he? I'm trying to think of the reason why he'd think that is sexist. Is it titleizing?
He read it in his, he linked to it in the story.
He's a Tumblr warrior. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
He was triggered by the gender connotations.
No, someone wrote a really awful piece.
Or was he
about-
using it as a conversation piece? Or was that his belief?
Okay, this is the same guy who, you know that Rolling Stone story about that girl that allegedly got raped?
Oh, yeah. I
yeah.
was just going to get into a conversation
Yeah,
on this, too.
yeah.
Fuck it. We're close to 2 hours. We're going to get there. Screw it.
We'll do it.
We're going to keep
I don't
going.
care.
I think the longer conversations you have, the more interesting they are.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Because my
That's
next
just a fact.
one, Joey has
Okay.
saw
Oh,
the
I saw
video.
this, and it's fucking nuts.
It is.
But
So-
continue.
The University of Virginia story came out, and he used that to deride, and a lot of people did. I don't mean just pick him
No, pick
out,
him
but
apart.
this whole social justice warrior culture and these white knights, about how, fraternities everywhere are just a bunch of rape culture. And I asked him, once it came out the story was fake,
Yeah.
I asked him, because a lot of kids' lives got
Yeah,
they
get
were
messed up.
their lives were going one way before that happened. Then the kids in that fraternity, their lives are going a different way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
After that story was
And nobody got
published, right?
fired, by the way. At all.
No. Well, that's because you think they care about the victims they create, and they don't.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Like,
I
yeah, they-
asked him. This was after it came out as fake.
Mm-hmm.
What is a rape culture? And he answered back, and I respect his opinion on a lot of things. We're just so far apart on this that I have another thing about that I'll save for later. But it's rape culture. It's used to define a group of individuals that use alcohol or pursue sex with women. Huh?
Yeah,
That's
just drew a question.
Not the definition I would have gone with
No.
at all.
It
Well-
started strong and then it just went left
No.
field for me.
The definition is that they keep it loose enough to say you're an 18 to 25-year-old male and you believe this way, rape culture. I can define you by everything you do because you're in a frat, you like to drink, and you like to have sex with girls. Therefore, you're part of the rape culture, and I don't have to listen to anything you say because it's not valid.
Personally,
Or you're just a fucking male
Personally-
between 18 to 25.
That's what I mean. It's a loose definition that they use to.
personally, I do think there is a rape culture exists, but not with that definition.
No.
Totally different. Like the presidents of universities who we know sweep rape allegations and actual rape, confirmed rapes under the rug as though they didn't happen. Thereby basically saying we don't give a shit about rape. That does
I don't
happen.
think it happens for that reason. Continue your thought, and I'll
I'm
answer
saying
that.
these kind of things happen. It gets swept under the rug. And rape victims who get pregnant in half the states in America have to fight for custodial rights of the kid from the person that raped them.
That's bullshit if it's been proven in court. Right.
That's 10,000. Basically, about 10,000 of them a year have to do that, and like the fact that exists in half this country does kind of show that we really don't care.
Yeah.
When we should, because I mean that's fucked up. You have to do that. That is just beyond fucked up. And Iowa is one of those places. And yeah, I did send off an email to what's our.
But the thing is,
name?
to you, I've also seen, and I didn't know the kid very long, but he seemed like a great kid. It was my first weekend at college, first or second, and the kid was a virgin, and he was on the football team with me, and great kid. I mean, we were making each other laugh, hanging out all the time, and we got drunk at the first party we had ever been at together, and he took a girl home. Well, 2 days later, we hear that he had raped a girl. And I go up to him. I was like, dude, what happened? It's like, I don't fucking remember what happened, man. Her roommate just said that I raped her. Her roommate, after watching, being on Tumblr, being a social justice warrior, decided that because the girl was drunk,
that is that.
She had obviously been raped.
Which is way more out there than what I'm
about to make my point, though.
Okay.
That kid's life was ruined.
Yeah, he's totally fucked now.
He had to go through the rest of that semester. No girl would look at him. You know, people just treated him differently.
Yeah.
Oh, I know people.
And thank God that an investigation found him innocent. But you're still going to get looked at. You get a policy formed with enough feminists on it. You know, a judging panel at the college or whatever, and he gets found guilty. The kid's life is never the same.
No.
All of a sudden, he's laying shingles for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
On a false charge, like a lot of what's happened at the University of Virginia.
No. I'm saying we treat the subject like in the wrong way.
What I'm saying is it works both ways.
I know. I wish it didn't.
And I'm saying that's why that happens, though.
Yeah.
Because fake and not indiscriminate, but fake and exaggerated charges do happen.
Oh yeah, when I was in college at Wartburg,
I think a little bit of that sweeping under the rug is a lot. It's such a hand grenade.
Yeah. Exactly. That's the whole problem. You know what I mean? Is that's what the topic is. Like because we have
it ruins lives on both sides.
Yeah. I do think though, like the numbers vastly go with like the female side, like statistically.
I've heard 60% are lies.
I don't know where you're pulling that statistic out of here.
I've heard that. Well, the Duke lacrosse case.
That's one case. Outliers.
But you know what I mean. It does happen, and those kids.
I'm not saying it doesn't.
I played lacrosse at Duke in 2008, whatever the year was.
I'm saying.
Are you hiring that kid at your law firm?
No. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, if you strip the outliers out, which you kind of have to have any kind of rational discussion, you do. Like those things, like the states where rape victims have to fight for custodial rights. Those things that outside of outliers really fucking matter.
Right.
Those are what we should focus on, and then the rest will inevitably take care of itself. But we don't, because we as a society focus on the extremes, the outrageous, the crazy, things like that.
Makes good
things
stories.
Like what happened at Virginia Tech, things like that. Like to your point, I've known a teacher who, when I was in school at Wartburg, he was accused of rape by 2 students, and because he wouldn't give them A's.
Right.
And he had he countersued, didn't teach for 4 years because he was in the middle of a countersuit, won a shitload of money because he couldn't work for 4 years. He's never going to teach again.
Yeah, that's just it. His life was one way before that moment.
But an extreme. That's why I usually don't go, and again, I'm way more rational than the average human being, I think, just on the whole. I don't look at the extreme first, personally.
But the thing is, it's happened enough times in popular culture now.
That's what people see.
Is it the extreme?
Yeah, it still is. Because on the statistical outlier side, it's still a massive statistical outlier.
I've heard numbers as high as 60, and I've heard numbers in the middle at 30.
Yeah, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but with the sheer number of cases,
at 30,
the sheer number of cases, so there's still 70 that still happen.
But that's what I mean. That's where some of that is. I don't think it's rape culture. I think it's people are tentative because the consequences are so high on both sides.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not saying that it doesn't happen and that justice shouldn't be served, but if they're wrong, it's
I'm just saying,
so high.
My thing is greater scrutiny needs to be applied. And actual rational scrutiny, not, oh, this is our person I'm identifying with. There's no way he's wrong.
Well, and that's just it.
Or she's wrong.
But then you get into situations where people have a political axe to grind.
Yeah, and that just muddies the waters and makes everything worse.
Like the UV University of Virginia case, like the Duke lacrosse case. Yeah. People were just grinding political axes. The truth be damned.
Yeah.
No apology has been offered to that fraternity.
Yeah.
They still can't run fraternities at Virginia.
Yeah. And it's like, it's just, it's the wrong way of going about things pretty much all the way around in a lot of those cases.
And it was done to make a political point.
Yeah. Politics really, really fucking muddies the waters. Like, in every situation. Without fail. Makes it worse.
And it makes situations
more
extreme.
Wonder why the founding father didn't want them.
Well, let's think about this. Like, Ebola, it literally disappeared after the whole, election shit. I mean, I don't hear anything more about it.
Oh, mostly because the world was like, oh, wait, we're a Western civilization.
Yeah,
we have
we
medicine. Oh, yeah,
but
we're
still,
not
that was
stupid.
the hugest thing. Woman in Texas gets it. Oh, my God, people are freaking out.
And again, we freaked out, and it didn't happen.
Well,
there's that, too.
We just...
Or it
was
didn't
during the
happen
election
because we freaked out.
Yeah.
I don't think it was election-based. Like, there's no way we can control what West Africa does with Ebola.
No,
we
can't.
We have no control of that. And it did get bad. Like, people breaking into hospitals and, stealing patients who were sick because the government was killing them. I know. But, I think people attribute bad stuff when they shouldn't to governments, like that kind of thing. Yeah. No way our government, I don't think, we
couldn't do it.
Really.
We can't do it.
Not on the whole.
Well, it's just
really.
like how they
But
would...
people believe that. And a lot of people do. And, there's no way they did. Yeah, poor timing. Guess what? Humanity's been around for 50,000 years. Poor timing fucking happens. But there's things we also attribute too many positives to governments as well. You know? You know what I mean? Like, Obama gets a lot of positive stuff from social people. Not all that much. Not really.
Well, the most inactive Congress in history.
Oh, we'll do that to him. We cannot judge Obama based on his actions because his Congress is the worst fucking Congress in our history.
No, but people...
outside of maybe post-Civil War, Reconstruction eras, there was some serious shit that went down.
Yeah.
But, it's bad. You can't, and that's why we don't historically judge presidents when they're in office. We judge them 20 years down the road when things get released to the public because of Freedom of Information Act, things like that. So, judgment of, I still have no idea how to judge Bush because I don't know what's going to get released when the Freedom of Information comes up upon things like 9/11 and the Iraq War. What intelligence was he given in 2004 on the WMDs? That kind of thing. What actually hit his desk? And in 15 years, we'll know that because of those information acts. His history plays a major role in pretty much all this, too, because it's how we view things. Yeah. You know?
And how our past
it takes
will
longer
learn.
time to get rid of these extreme reactions, these extreme emotions. The longer time, the more things become clear. But in the right now, because of human nature, we're never going to really get rid of them, which sucks a lot. Because in the moment, it ruins people's lives.
Well, you got to remember that, like you said, 50,000 years ago, pharaohs used to be executed because it didn't rain.
Yeah. Well, that's more like 10,000 years ago.
Hey, still,
it needs to rain someday.
Yeah.
It's a pattern in history.
Yeah, exactly. People freak the fuck out like that.
Yeah.
And
well, we want results now, not
it's
tomorrow.
the reason why.
And there's 7 billion of us, so it better fucking happen right
Yeah, so it better.
It's the reason why guys like Ted Cruz and, it was Michelle Bachmann who said she was going to lower the price of gas. Really?
How so?
Go tell OPEC that. Thanks.
What do you have to do with that?
Though I will say, kudos to the American oil producers for actually growing some balls this past year, saying, we're setting the prices. We're going to ramp our production to the hilt. Fuck you guys.
Saying a barrel of oil might hit $5.
Yeah, because that's the point. Is you come so low, the rebound has to go fucking through the roof.
Right.
And hopefully it doesn't happen until after August in RTX. That would be nice. But yeah, it has to happen. It's just where markets go. They always dip and go like that. It's what
been
happens.
So far out of whack for 5 years.
Yeah, everything is nothing's back.
Oil
it's
should
not
not be $3 a gallon.
No.
Gas should not be $3 a gallon. We have way too much of it for that shit.
Yeah.
We're gonna run out of oil. We're gonna run out of oil. They just found oil in fucking London.
Yeah.
Sorry,
here's the thing, though.
That's hilarious
how
to me.
much? It's just kind of hard to gauge until you start the drilling process. How much is in there? What form is it in? Is it refinable?
800 billion gallons.
Yeah. And again,
That's some oil.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is, like, eventually there is a finite in the planet. There's a finite amount of oil because it takes so long to make.
But we're getting better at our drilling process.
I know, and we're able to give it a longer shelf life, so on,
Right.
so forth. Technology will always make it easier, make it go farther, that kind of thing.
The thing is, we need to move away from oil anyway,
Yeah.
Yes,
for another host of reasons.
but I think at that flip of the conversation, we should probably call it a podcast. Because
How far are we in?
we're just at 2 hours, and we've gone now from societal stuff. Now we're just getting into economics. We should call it a podcast.
I wasn't getting into economics. I was.
We were
getting
going
into
to.
global warming.
We were going to.
But Al Gore made the internet. I'm an IT guy. That statement pisses me off to the core.
Yeah, Tom. I actually believe he did make it.
Yeah.
He may have helped market it to the consumer
Explain
level.
to me why he didn't to you.
I saw him on
know-
CS
He said he did. I believe him.
I saw him on C-SPAN. He flipped the switch. We had internet.
Anyway,
I'm just trying to piss you off to the point where we do another hour.
see you next Monday, whenever I get this podcast out. It'll be a week from when this podcast goes live.
Seriously, to you, he did. He told me it was the truth.
He whispered in my ear, and it's like...
Follow us on Twitter at Farm Nerds. I'm at Mr. Warburg. He's at JoeyF_Lee, and he's at Don't Throw My Cookies. Okay, anyway, follow him at YetiPocalypse and go to bspearhead.com, please. Check us out on iTunes. If you're already listening to there, great. Please like and rate and subscribe and that stuff. If you're on YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Big one, share, because we're kind of grow things. Let people know what you thought. And comment in the comments below, because we talked about a lot of heavy stuff. So, I'm going to unmute you guys if you're going to be good for the last minute. If not, guess what happens?
Al Gore. I'm just kidding. Shit. Man, bear, pig.
T likes to taste a penis in his mouth. It's true. He told me.
Seriously, though, comment below on the stuff we've talked about outside of Man, Bear, Pig, or whatever. See ya.
In and around his mouth.
I hate all the people. Goodbye.